I work too hard. Poetry on any.
What's good? What's good? What's good? You know what time it is. It's your boy Doughboy Diesel. We back here in the Doja room. I'm here with my boy Shiesty Nurse.
Yo, yo.
We are, if you're reading the title, you know what this is. This is our very first State of the Union. Okay,
Yes.
we love to talk politics here. We've been talking politics here for a number of years. So if you haven't hopped in while we've been speaking politics, now's the perfect time. We followed the election pretty closely, uh, leading up to Trump's election, his second term, and this is the perfect time for us to jump back in, really look at some of the things that he said he was going to do, and kind of see where we are today. Of course, it's a State of the Union. Okay, so for my niggas who don't know what a State of the Union is, that's basically what a State of the Union is. Okay, we're just gonna look and compare and see where the country has been going and how things have been going since Trump has been back in office. But yeah, I got my boy Shiesty Nurse in here with me to break down some of this stuff, man. What's going on?
Yeah, it's just say, Shiesty Nurse, Shiesty is Nurse on the internet. If you know me, if you follow me, I do music, politics, and culture. Mostly hip hop and rap. But I don't really break down. I don't. Let's be real. I don't break down any other genre.
Yeah, facts.
But yeah, man, I work in one of the most politically charged specialties, one of the most politically charged fields in healthcare. So I had some people, and I say that because I had some people that was like, "Oh, what do you know? You're just a fucking nurse. Why don't you just shut up and dribble?" kind of thing. And I was like,
Hmm.
"You're a fucking like you're an idiot. Like my job, my field is one of the most political. Like literally, governments have been shut down, and we'll
Hmm.
get to that. Governments have been shut down because of healthcare. Okay, so I think and not to mention, as an ER nurse, I see all types of patients. We can't just say, I'm not going to take you protesters or be like the other nurse that got freaking lost her license talking about we're going to give a paralytic to a patient, that patients that are MAGA or whatever. Or the other one that told Caroline Levitt should die in giving birth. Like, we can't act like that. We have an oath. We take care of everybody. And in the ER, we see everybody from
Yeah, you
streamers to
coming with an interesting
politicians.
perspective. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Definitely coming with an interesting perspective, and that's definitely what we need. And um, of course, if you guys are watching, you're more than welcome to hop into the chat, join the conversation as well. If you disagree with anything that we saying, anything that we talking about here. But yeah, we might as well let's just jump into it. Where do you want to
yeah.
start? Because
I
I
mean,
feel like Trump's presidency has
mhm.
been, depending on what side you're looking at it, it's either been very successful or it's been a complete disaster. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
um, where do you want to get started on?
I think so. Reddit. Like, first of all, I think this question is hard because I think it's hard for people who don't do the research type shit. And I think it's hard because there's so much rhetoric and narrative based, like logical fallacies that are out there in the field. And if you don't have a certain savvy, if you don't have a certain perseverance to navigate those obstacles to get to the scarce truth, then you're just either gonna fall into the pitfall of the narratives or fall into the pitfalls of the rhetoric, right? And all the nonsense. And what I take pride in when I do with the content that I do and how I do my research. My videos are not that long, so when I do my content, I do that with the knowing that I've researched over hundreds of sources, and make sure that I pick the most easiest shorts that I can clip, and just put in a video. But I do a lot of due diligence because I'm a nurse. I'm always constantly in my job assessing things, right? And I'm a nurse
Right.
through and through. I'm not a nurse in my job. I'm always assessing every situation, intervening, reacting, evaluating. That's my job. And so naturally, I'm a natural skeptic, if that makes sense. And so when it comes to answer your question, I personally believe that Trump is doing a great job. Well, I mean not a great job. He's doing a good job, right? Compared to his first term where I saw more tweets than governance, right? And even I was in a space last night with a couple of independent conservatives as well, and they said this. They actually agree with me. He said we saw a lot of throwing tantrums, a lot of non-execution. He was trying to be more of like an establishment like candidate where he had like Mike Pompeo all of these dudes that were establishment or some dudes like Steve Bannon who were just off the reservation, people that had their own, that didn't actually believe or cared for him as a president. In my opinion, they were just suckling at the teat, and they all had their own agendas. And then as soon as, like Amberosa, as soon as things got bad, they all jumped ship. They all turned him back. Like, how many press secretaries did he had? He had Sarah Huckabee, all that. It was just a fiasco. And I
Right.
think I think the stench of his first term is still stinking up the place in his second term. However, I see it's changing because all of these things that the Democrats hyped up and fear mongered me, you, and everybody about that he was gonna do, and like everybody also which was just playing on like the emotion of his first term and understanding like how he did and how bad things were in America at that time. All of these things that they said they were gonna do in the second term, in his second term, all these things, calling him like an authoritarian, a racist, all these things slowly but surely are crumbling because of one, I think it's AI that's that's because now you don't now when you research stuff, you're not researching in a Google fixed algorithm. Like, let's be real, everybody back before AI was Googling shit, and Google has been known to manipulate the algorithm, right?
Right.
So now I think one, and I think two, people are just realizing that the kitchen table things matter, and not everything is race, not everything is about the minorities. People from in America overall are who are disenchanted with politics feel forgotten by their government. Like the law abiding citizen, like like me and you, we go to work every day, we don't break the laws, we drive the speed limit sometimes, I guess. We we have
uh,
voter ID, we're here legally. We participate in our economy, we give to our economy, and then it just feels like, oh, well, fuck you. Let's worry about the disenfranchised. Like, what you think, and what you just because you're a good person and you do the right thing and you're a law abiding, you're privileged somehow. It's like, no, shouldn't the good people of society be? Why is it that the last the good guy has to finish last? You see what I'm saying? And that's
yeah,
why I think a
I
lot
think
of
a lot of
people,
these I think a lot of these activists come from a place where they are white knighting, and they wouldn't, be caught dead in any of these neighborhoods full of these Hispanics, quote unquote, that they're fighting for. They're not there at these cookouts. They're not sending their kids to the same schools. But there's so much at the forefront of the conversation when it comes down to this stuff, and I think it's easy to see through. But I think that's a great place to start. We might as well go ahead and start with ICE, because that seems like, a lot of people are, yeah, like you said,
yeah,
really, really, really trying to defend these minorities who are being
right,
deported. I even got this latest report here. It said ICE arrests of people with no criminal convictions or charges have increased significantly under Trump's administration, as Time reports. He previously said that he would deport the worst of the worst criminals. Um, but I don't think that necessarily says that he wasn't going to deport people that
right,
and I think this is a prime example of the disingenuous conversation going on the other side. It What do you guys expect to happen? And I think we talked about this a couple of nights ago.
yeah.
What do people expect to happen? You give some people an inch,
They're
a
gonna take
couple
a
of people
mile.
are going to take a mile, as a couple of people are going to say, okay, thank you, and a couple of people are going to sit here on the sidelines and be like, hey, I got to hear the right way. I did everything the right way. What the fuck? What am I over here doing shit? What am I following
Yeah,
rules for? What am I here
right.
following your laws
Why
for?
am I waiting in line when I can pay a coyote $20,000 to bring me to the border?
Yeah, I got family I'm waiting on to come over here. Fuck it. Let me just let them
Let me
get,
just,
they can just come and meet illegally. I
yeah,
got my mom
Biden's,
waiting to
yeah,
come over here. I got my cousins
yeah,
waiting to come over here. Fuck it.
yeah. Biden is eliminating. Biden is giving temporary protected status and giving work papers and all kinds of goodies. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I think the issue is, and then again, I keep finding myself with the liberals. Their argument is always emotion based when it comes to ICE. Don't these people? No one's illegal on stolen land. Dumb as fuck. Um, like it, Or don't you think the good ones should stay? And what about the taxes they pay and the things that they don't get in return? Which is even that I think is like BS because when they came here under temporary protected status, they got work papers, so it wasn't like they weren't getting anything back. They were able to stay here and work and send whatever jobs that they could find, send their money back to their country. But I mean, I digress. But it's this attitude of like we're immoral for being logic and being pragmatic, and it's like okay, if and then people say, oh, desperate, desperate. These people are desperate. You should like you should feel for them, and I was like, I do. I'm not a heartless knave. Like I feel bad that Jose, that's been down the block 20 years for 20 years, got deported. My heart breaks for Jose or whoever, or Renee or whatever, or Irina or whoever, or Ivanka and all these people. My heart breaks for them, right? I'm not
My
sitting
thing
here
is, what are
and
these
like
people doing out in these situations, fighting with
right,
ICE?
right,
You're legal
yeah.
citizens,
Oh no, it's not, bro. It's not fighting. It's protest.
No, nah, come on, man. It's like
Come
I,
on,
I, I
bro.
really don't get the objective here because it's like,
Racist,
look,
man.
Trump is not going to stop what he's doing. You guys are
No,
not going to
but
stop this man for what he's doing. And
bro,
like we spoke about a couple of nights ago, a
yeah.
lot of these governors, mayors, so on and so forth, are just selling you guys up a hill, like down the river. Like, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like they're making you guys out to be crash dummies, and at the end of the day, you guys are supposed to be these fake martyrs for them to have a big story about. This is for them to get reelected. They're using you guys as pawns, and that's really how I
Oh
see
yeah.
it. But it's the
Right.
same way on both sides.
Well, that's
But
what I'm
even
saying.
still, it doesn't make
Right.
sense.
But at least on one side, they're actually trying to pass common sense, pragmatic, like greater good, greatest good kind of like legislature, right? So you look at like the Save Act, and I don't want to delay, I don't want to go too far away from ICE because I want to stick on that. But you look at the Save Act, common sense. You look at the Trump accounts that helps hundreds of people. You look at the big beautiful bill, which the Democrats don't even talk about anymore. The only talking point of the big beautiful bill is that they're giving money to the billionaires. Okay, okay, thank you. That. When are you going to stop playing that tired song? Because I understand how the economy works, and I understand that the billionaires provide 70% of tax revenue. So, currently, right now, but there's a big misconception or a narrative that they don't pay taxes. But we'll get to that. If we do. So when you look at you have narratives, you have people that are not that every time Trump does something good, that stench from that first administration, in addition to the liberal lies and the resistance machine, is making people convincing people that things are worse in your country than they actually are. Like, for example, let's talk about ICE, right? You go down, ICE is a huge topic in today's society right now. Why? Because one, Trump said he's going to do deportations. Deportations have been happening for years. I mean, I don't need to repeat the Obama stuff. I mean, everybody said it's a conservative talking point. It's a fact. It's not just a talking point. It's a fact. You
Hmm.
see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you look at Obama, nobody, and they would say, oh, well, he didn't do it like this and he didn't do it like that. It doesn't matter. He removed more people. You said people should stay here because no one's illegal on stolen land. Well, he removed more people, right? And also separated children from the border, which is nobody talks about that. But then you see deportation has been going on for years. You have the fact that it's happening all over the country. You would think what's happening in Minnesota and these sanctuary cities is happening all over the country. Why aren't we hearing things about Idaho or red states? You know why? Because they don't have sanctuary laws that limit cooperation and limit the handing over of these illegal immigrants when they get caught up and jammed up in the system by the local PD. Currently, right now, you're seeing a pivot now because Tom Homan's running the show down there, and you don't really hear the ICE. I mean, I haven't seen on my timeline the ICE protests or anything like that. It seems like it's dying down. Plus, the city Mayor Fay, the same mayor that was like, "ICE, get out of my," stirring up the pot. ICE, get out of my, city or whatever.
I
Just
think
came
things are
forward.
dying down because it's like I said, the people, the most vocal people online are not the people who are willing to get in the paint. They're not
Right.
willing to go out there themselves. The people who are sitting here telling you guys to start shooting ICE, that they're not the police and they don't have the right to do this and do that. Those people who are telling you these lies why they should be the people on the front lines. It's because the people on the front lines are not being crash dummies anymore. People are actually getting killed, and it's not
Yep.
just the two white people who are being exalted to this day,
Yeah.
and you know,
Put up as
it's
mortars.
plenty of it's plenty of people, it's plenty of people who've been killed, and I think people are seeing that, and they're seeing um, the lack of what's being done as far as changing the methods. But I mean, I would argue too, it's a lot of, like I said, these the leadership of the Democratic Party really rallying these people up to
Yeah.
get themselves in these situations that they don't
Yeah.
necessarily have to be in.
Absolutely.
They're making you think that they got your back, they stand behind you,
They're the
and
good
these
guys.
people are sitting in $1 million houses, $1 million mansions,
Hmm.
comfortable while you guys go crash out, catch
Can
charges.
I give you an example of that? So Michelle Obama always says white this, white that. Basically, has this anti-white rhetoric, right? Ask me where she lives. She lives in a neighborhood, a rich white neighborhood with a bunch of white people within a gated community, bro. But she always talking about how she hates white people. I don't know if I hated people so much I wouldn't live around them. I right now I don't like where my house is right now. I don't like where the houses that I own. I don't like those people, so I stay at my mother in law's place because I don't like those people. I don't want to be around those people. I don't have friends of those people, so I don't want to live around there. So I don't know. I think what you're saying is right. It's hypocrisy. It's hypocrisy. It's brainwashing. It's narrative. I think a lot of these people are closeted conservatives, low key. I think all these
Yeah.
celebrities are closeted
And
conservatives
a lot of
because
these
why the
people
fuck would
that
you
these
vote for
niggas
more
would give their
taxes?
freedom, a lot of these people that these niggas would give their freedom off in harming or trying to do something to these people. These guys that you're crashing out for, they're friends with these guys. Think about how many people want to crash out and are Obama stands and want to
Yeah,
crash out over Trump. And then they have to sit here and watch these two have a civilized conversation, sit next to each other, crack jokes,
yeah.
act like
Him and
none of this shit
yeah,
was that deep.
yeah, him and Trump,
The
right?
mask came off.
Yeah, the mask came off, and my thing is right is the straight, and that's why I left the liberals. I left liberals. 'Cause I was a liberal, man. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like when Trump got elected, I was like, damn, and I was like, well, I'm gonna pray that Trump is a different person in this one, and he is. He's very much his policies, bro. He doesn't even tweet like that anymore. Like I don't know if y'all remember
Mm,
how bad it was, bro. He was tweeting every minute, like he was he was like I was like, bro, he was at Mar-a-Lago every other week taking a vacation. This dude has been working his ass off,
he locked
literally
in.
scratching everything off the list. He said he's gonna do the tariffs. He did it. He said he's gonna do mass protestations. He did it. He said he's gonna give everything he said, minus the Doge checks, because that was probably a pipe dream to begin with, and he just kind of finessed Elon Musk. Let's be real, Elon Musk got finessed for his money, thinking that he was gonna give him this whole department and all that, and then keep his what you call it his money that Biden had given him, the fucking funds for his electric vehicles and shit. He got finessed, and he should have known that. You niggas told you he be finessing niggas. He's literally went. He's technically a felon because he was finessing niggas. Like well, come on, bro, you're dumb. So definitely finessed him, and then everything that he's attacking, he's been attacking, like affordability, all the stuff that the Democrat says. Like it was a time when he won, after he won the second time, where everybody was like, I was in spaces, in some liberal spaces, everybody just hoard your money because I'm seeing things as of close to next week with these tariffs, man. He's
I
gonna
remember that.
destroy the economy, man. Remember that shit? He's gonna
People
destroy the
were
economy,
laying people off.
bro.
People were withholding bonuses and blaming it
Yeah,
on Trump. It's like,
yeah,
bro,
cashing out
if you
401ks,
if you want to not
retiring.
give out Christmas bonuses to your workers, bro, just say that. You don't have to blame you don't have to blame
Right.
Trump, okay? Like, oh, we have to prepare. Steel is about to be significantly higher. We should revisit that. I got to pull up the topics on that to see
Yeah.
has the price of steel significantly went up as
Yeah,
far as
and it
the
probably
U.S.
has gone up. Like prices have gone up. Like no one's like denouncing that, but it hasn't gone up to this astronomical, catastrophic doomsday type of event. It was just like, okay, things are going to be a little bit more expensive because we're enriching ourselves to the tune of 100 billion a month in tariff money. Now, what we do with that money is important, and I think we ran a lesser deficit month over month last month with tariff money being paid down. So we are what he's doing. What exactly? This is a president that's saying that is he. I think he is now doing exactly what he said, and no one's gonna stop him. Like, and the only thing that's stopping him is the courts, and they a lot of the things that he said has been jammed up in the courts, and that's why I'm not jacking this. He's a dictator, an authoritarian bullshit. I mean, I think the way he's ruled, like ruling, the way he's governing is very authoritative, like authoritative person, like a parent who's
Right.
authoritative. But I don't think
Unapologetic.
he's unapologetic. There we go. I don't think he's necessarily doing all these evil things to destroy America and all of that. I think every action that I'm looking at, not every action, but the big ones that make the biggest headlines, Venezuela, all of these things are all for the benefit of America. It's to make us win. And I think people who really want to do their research, because are going to start to find out, like, if you look at Venezuela, looking at Greenland, and understand geopolitics. I agree with both of those decisions. Because if you understand what China's doing and what our adversaries are doing, then
Mhm.
most of these liberals don't really have good understanding of geopolitics. They don't really understand geopolitical, like, stuff. Even the like the biggest commentators, they don't understand the geopolitical sphere, or about, like, that this is a fucking chess match. When you're talking about the globe, you're talking about a chess match. Like, I do something, then they're gonna do something. I see them doing. We just can't have everybody doing shit, and I'm just sitting here like, good, happy America. Like,
No, we need
America's
to sit
like,
here. We need to stop. It needs to be kumbaya. Like we're not fucking druids,
no,
nigga. Like we're
like,
not.
this country was
We're
not
not
formed. This
wood
country was
elves,
formed in
nigga.
blood.
Like come on.
This is not a
You know what I'm saying?
kumbaya. And I think they just live in a delulu world, in the sense of, like, don't you think we need to do this, and for the people, shouldn't America be the shining city? Like, no, the fuck we don't. America has our own problems. Right now, America needs to be closed for maintenance. We need to shut down for maintenance. America needs maintenance. It needs to be recuperated. And the only thing you can do that is by focusing inward, growing our population, securing our borders, securing our elections. These are just, like, I know they're talking points, but they're facts. This is how you prevent the decay of a society. You know what I'm saying? Do you want just a free willy nilly? We've tried the Biden way. He let millions of people in here and gave them temporary protected status. We have seen the kumbaya. We have seen the we must help everybody. Do you know why Biden? What was the reason? You know what the reasoning, when I gotta Google this, and you can Google it and check me on it. And if I'm wrong, please educate me. But
Mm.
when I AI this, why did Biden allow so many millions of people and give them temporary protected status? And at first, I AI'd that if it was true, because I used to think it was fake. So it comes out it was true. And the reason is, he added Venezuela and he added Haiti, right?
Yeah.
And this all ties into your ICE topic, right? Because we're talking immigration. So he added Haiti and Venezuela and a couple of other countries to the humanitarian list. So one would ask him, like, okay, why? What
They
like,
can flood it.
like, yeah, but no, but in my head, I'm like, you would ask yourself, okay, like, why during a pandemic, right, when our country is suffering, our GDP is in the toilet, we have high inflation, we have we have what you call it, people civil unrest, the people who don't want to be inside or take the shot. We have a
Yeah.
virus killing off people. Why in the fucking name, in God's name, did he, or if it was him, would think that it would be okay during this time of period where we are fighting a pandemic, to let all these people in here in the sake of being good? Because that's literally what the reason was. It was, we his reasoning was, we owe these people something, right? We owe, and that was also, I guess, his solution
Yeah.
to the border crisis, by taking in people. And it's like, bro, we don't owe anybody anything. Okay, we don't owe anybody this. We don't have to be the nice guys of the world. We can be good, but we could also have laws and law and
Yeah.
order. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
he
This
lets
is
all these
the
people in
world's
and gives them
orphanage.
exactly. He lets all these people in. He gives them temporary protected status. It immediately puts a taxing on the border states like Florida, and that's why the Florida governor was like, "Oh, word." And watching on TV, they're trying to gaslight you. Oh, there's no border problem. Border crossings. Look at this graph. Border crossings are down more than ever in history. What are you talking about? Yeah. So the guy was like, oh word, and you were watching independent journalists and 60 Minutes Overdrive watching the coyotes literally just there's literally a cut through the thing
Mm-hmm.
and come right around.
On
So
TV.
so on TV, on live TV, and on YouTube, you have people that are going down there to the border and covering it while Rachel Maddow and all these fucking retarded ass people are telling me that that
It's
that
not
I'm
gonna.
crazy. Right, and the press secretary, that black woman, I forgot what her name is. The press secretary saying that shit too. So the governor's like, yo, word, oh word, all right, let me pay for these buses, and I'm gonna show you. Let me bus these people to the sanctuary cities where again limits cooperation. And I actually just looked it up. So I'm thinking all this Chicago mayor who's talking this shit about oh you have ice free zones. Good luck, buddy. You're gonna go to jail because it does. I looked it up. It says that the sanctuary city laws just limit cooperation, as I suspected. Just limits cooperation, but it does not sanction active resistance. So you cannot say I'm having ice out zones and all that shit. You can't do all of that. You can't
Yeah.
block or obstruct justice. You can't do that because you'll be charged under 18C USC, whatever it is, with a federal obstruction of justice,
Mm-hmm.
or whatever. And so you have all these people. So you have all these people coming into America, right? And they're coming in, and when they come into to America, now the local governments have to shut out. Like, do you realize that New York City is now just in recovery? Like this shit that
Yeah.
Bandani is saying is coming from years and years of during the pandemic. It was all the temporary protected status people that Mayor Adams had to pay out them credit cards and all that. These were people that were here under temporary protected
Yeah.
status.
Yeah. He
Then they
finally
flee.
admitted it was killing him.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
was
and then
killing him.
from the housing piece, they all dispersed to the country. So you're like, okay, what's gonna happen now? So now you're gonna have all these people that are displaced that you let into the country. They have to have food. They have to have education. Their children have to go to school because under the amendment, I think don't forget me, I think 14th Amendment, something like that. It allows under the Constitution, regardless of status, your kids can go to school here in the public school system, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you're asking yourself, well, how does that even fucking matter? My school taxes, your school taxes, everybody's taxes goes up because they keep sucking onto the economy. And yes, they pay a little bit of taxes, and that will help you up front, but or in the long run after like 10 to 15 years. But in the immediate, it puts an immediate tax and almost bankrupts these cities. Like New York City was bankrupt. If Trump didn't come in and put belt to ass, New York City would have been bankrupt, bro.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And it would be even worse. You see what I'm saying? So I kind of, in a way, being independent, I'm like, I see why Bandani has to raise the fucking property taxes, but he's only doing that to fit his agenda. Worse is just be like, yo, gang, I lied to y'all. I can't do all the shit I'm saying because the money, I didn't know
Yeah.
how much money was in the pot when I was talking all this shit. You know what I'm saying? So, it's just a matter of, and so then when
What
conservatives,
do you? Just a side
go,
note, because I know, the new mayor was put in to kind of combat some of this ICE stuff and be a
man,
democratic face or voice against Trump and stuff like
bro,
that.
you ain't see, bro, that shit is all cap. You ain't see when bro went to the White House and fucking Trump slapped him on his back like, yeah, he tucked tail. He knows the game. He said what he had to say because he understands the game. That message is what wins. Message is what wins elections, and it's actually a mockery to the electorate because it's like I could just tell you anything and you'll believe it and you'll vote for me. Literally,
Hmm.
he literally told them whatever they wanted to hear, and he ended up voting. They ended up voting for him. He cannot, not knowing the simple research can tell you that he could not fulfill none of the stuff that he's doing. So, and he knew that. So that's why when the days or weeks after later, he went to Trump and they talked about stuff and all that. He's not checking Trump on nothing. He is going to he's fall right in line, and he's gonna kneel. He's gonna have to kneel before Governor Hochul in New York State as well because she's not having that. She's a moderate and she ain't trying to have no the billionaires leave New York City. New York City it's the billionaires that keep New York City afloat. People don't realize that.
Yeah.
People have no fucking clue about that. They think that their little lives and the little check that they make in at the bottom of the tax bracket is supplying all the money for New York State when it's like actually the billionaires in America
The
overall because they do pay
billionaires, the
taxes.
contracts, the shit
Yeah, the
flowing in and
contracts, the
out.
jobs. If I'm a company, if I am a billionaire work that owns, or even let's say a high thousandaire, right?
Yeah, right.
And I own Pathmark. I own like 4 Pathmarks. But now Mamdani says, or I owe like 20 C-Town corner groceries. Mamdani says now, I say C-Town because shout out to Brooklyn. Um, um, like Mamdani says he's gonna charge me a wealth tax. Well, now I'm like, well, damn, that C Town is gonna have to get closed down. I said Canarsie right there. That's gonna have to get closed. I'm gonna have to close down, and then I'm gonna have to go to another state like Arizona. I'm gonna sell all my businesses, make mad money because when you sell an asset, you make money, and then dip to a low cash, low no tax state like I don't know Arizona. All the other red states that got all these tax incentives and tax breaks. I'm just gonna go over there and make my millions or retire there, and then what that does, it reverberates a negative effect because now you have a food shortage. And if I'm using an example, you'll have a food desert. All those jobs are going to be gone. So your local unemployment rate will go. Like people don't understand. I asked Grok this, right? I said, what percentage of the electorate in America understands economics and basic rudimental sense of economics and the economy and
I'd be
business?
surprised if
They
it
said
said 10%.
it was less than 15%. It was 10% of the population. That's not even
Shit.
like that's
That's
like
what I said.
if
I'd
you
be
have
surprised if it
350
was
million, that's
10%.
35 million. That's 35. So me and you are part of the 35 million. But yeah,
Yeah.
again, Democratic narrative. When they report about the economy, they always says consumer sentiment, consumer sentiment. The economy is doing bad. Like everybody, economist is telling you when I watch Fox Business or any other business episode
Hmm.
or I even do my research, the economy is doing really well, minus 2 sectors, right? And you
Yeah.
can't tell me because 2 sectors are doing bad, but it just so happens that those 2 sectors are the kitchen table things, the groceries,
So let
the you go ahead.
let let's catch you right there because since we're talking about a little bit of the economy, I did have some
Mm,
stats up, and I feel like this kind of strengthens what you're talking about here. Just some raw
yeah.
numbers, but it says the U.S. economy under Trump's second term, starting January 2025,
Mm-hmm.
has been solid but uneven, with strong GDP growth in
Mm-hmm.
parts of 2025 driven by consumer spending, government
Mm-hmm.
outlays, and AI tech investments. Through headwinds like tariffs, reduced immigration, and cooling labor market led to slowdowns and projections of moderation in 2026. Public sentiment remains mixed. Many Americans feel pitched by lingering inflation and higher costs, despite positive micro indicators. But objectively, it's avoided recession territory so far. So Trump is pulling us back out of recession territory, as is stated.
Mm-hmm.
Unemployment has risen modestly. Inflation has eased, but not fully. And stocks have hit records. However, growth is projected to dip below 2% in 2026 this year amid policy adjustments. So, what? Well, so it's saying we got some strong quarter three 2025 growth
Mm-hmm.
from mainly consumer spending. In
Yeah.
2026 slowdown due to fading stimulus and tariffs, things like that. Um, they added 130K jobs in January 2026, but 2025 saw a stagnation higher than Biden's era. So I feel like just
Mm-hmm.
coming in, that's just showing, but really
Yeah.
the turnaround right there. That's a
Yeah.
pretty decent turnaround. It rose from 4.1 in January to 4.6% in November. So that's not bad at all.
Yeah.
Um,
How recent is this? Because recent is the data that you got. Like, I mean, this
this
the
today.
article. That's
This
today. Oh
today.
shit. Okay.
Reading from mostly from the Economist. Um,
Oh man. I love about them.
down
But yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, bro.
down from we got a couple other sources in here too, but
Yeah.
the inflation is down from
Mm-hmm.
three
Yep.
point
Mm-hmm.
3% flat 3.0. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so I mean that's great. It was 2.7 in December. Um, and like I said, it's bringing us back out of that recession territory.
Yeah. And not to
The
mention
stock
those
market
job
has been up
numbers.
from AI
Yeah.
tech, budget deficits. We got a slight improvement from tariffs revenue, but offset by the tax cuts. So, and that's coming from Stanford EDU.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good source.
And then trade deficits, obviously, because of the tariffs, we're going to have a little bit of a trade deficit there.
Well, we always going
Imports,
to run a trade deficit because the deals that we have are still putting us at a deficit to where we are putting out more than that we're getting in. But with the tariff money, that's important. That actually helps level the playing field and brings back people to negotiation tables to renegotiate the deals that we have with those trade deficits. You know, it's
right?
just we import more than we export in general, but we also don't produce as much, which like we are like even with the GDP growth of like 4.4% in Q3 of 2025, which was really fucking good, and then I think Q4 we had 4.7 historic 4.7 GDP growth in revenue. We don't like ship out stuff, and that's mostly from like you said the AI boom, where we're not shipping AI across
Yeah.
the
It
Atlantic. We're not
generated
exporting that. Yeah.
we generated 88 billion so far on tariffs in
Oh, it's more
2025.
than that. It's more. Oh, yeah, it's more than that. I mean, I think the total
It,
amount,
it's supposed to
because
be
it's
over 2 trillion projected this year
yeah,
till
it's gonna because right now I think last month we
2035.
brought in 120,000. Sorry, 120 billion last month, and then when I was tracking it, like throughout the year last year, every month since April, we brought in like almost 30 billion a month. And then last month we had a really good month with 120 billion in tariff money because other type of reciprocity starts to kick in. And that, as I said, we used some of that, a chunk of that, to pay off our month over month interest last month, and we actually went down to which was running like usually 95 billion month over month in terms of borrowing. So we ended up borrowing less last month, only 85 billion, because we use tariff money. So it's not like a direct write off in the check in the sense of like, oh, we're gonna just take this and take $1 billion or $1 trillion and put it on the debt. It's more of like we borrow less because what we do in America in the government, they how they generate money is deficit spending. So they borrow money. But America is actually a very rich country. We don't tap into our own reserves. We
Yeah,
have reserves. We
we
have a
use
treasury
everybody
reserve.
else's for now.
Yeah, but the problem is when the value of the dollar tanks, then the value of whatever we got in riches or whatever also devalues, which lowers our credit score to increase lowers our credit score or a credit which then inhibits our borrowing capability. So like if and increases the percentage of interest, which increases everything else on us, and that's just basic economics. Like I'm not like some economic an economist would be like, yeah, you're there, but you don't got it all. But I would like to think I need to know a little bit of economics so I can vote right and know when my emotions are being triggered or like my emotions are being like worked on by some fucking liberal screaming person or somebody screaming or telling me how I should feel about something. It got the math got a math and
Yeah.
it got two plus two have to make sense.
I want to look at some of these key takeaways here from Stanford.edu, um,
Hmm.
which was the U.S. economy has shown a remarkable resilience in the face of policy
Hmm.
uncertainty and AI's potential disruption. Interest
Hmm.
rates decisions, the national debt, tariffs, worries about a stock market bubble, and the low fire labor market are amongst the big economic issues that will take center stage in 2026. Affordability will continue to be a top concern for consumers leading up into November midterm elections.
Yeah.
So those are just some things to look for. But if you're listening to people
Hmm.
telling you, which I heard a lot of it, you heard a lot of it, and I'm pretty sure if you're listening and you're watching back, you've probably heard some of it too. But there's a lot of people out here touting that Trump was fucking up the economy. Oh, these tariffs are driving everything
Oh
up.
yeah.
Look, we told you
Oh
this was going to happen. This is terrible. And,
yeah.
we basically heard all of these things, but now, I don't know. It's kind of quiet right now.
Right. And then you have like people like one of our friends sent me this guy Isaiah Martin. He's a liberal debater. He was on Jubilee. And I'm like, just sidebar about Jubilee. I don't want to hear nobody take Jubilee
Jubilee.
serious. Literally, bro, literally those fucking debates is literally punching down. It's like taking somebody like me and I'm debating somebody that don't know nothing about the economy or just some average person off the street, and they talk about, oh yeah, 20 Democrats, no, 20 MAGA versus one Democrat owns this person. Yeah, you punching down. Like, how about you debate somebody that really has real policy that can really meet you where you at and call you out and make you look stupid. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and call out your bullshit. No, you wanna, so
I
anybody that's
think I
going
think
on there,
Jubilee has done some really good videos, but at time they
bro.
need to let the conversation really develop and really be what it is. I don't understand why some of these they get some of these people together to have these quick conversation, these timed conversations. Look, I would tell people we're going to be here for the day. This is a debate. If I was in Jubilee's hands, if I had control over Jubilee and I'm bringing people in, this would be an all day. We're setting up in a debate hall. We're going to really get to it. Hey, book your stay. Make sure you're here for a good 2 days.
Right.
We're locking in for the day, and we're really gonna push these ideas to its limits. We're gonna exhaust this shit because I would be at least trying to drive for a solution. Once all the heated conversations die down, we got to find solutions to what we're talking about, and that's the only critique that I wish. Well, not the only critique, but that's the main critique that I wish how Jubilee would handle its content. I really wish that they would push the conversation to its limits and let it develop how it needs to. But
Yeah, I wish they do some more structures in the debate and like make sure these liberal ones that come on here don't act all emotional, start screaming, using ad hominem attacks, like typical liberal tactics in a debate. Like, and it's really meant to just deflect and distract you. And this is what. So when it comes to him, why I brought him up is because one of our liberal friends that we know sent me a DM about, oh, he would mop the floor with me. I'm like, I'm watching this dude and he's just another liberal clown who lost 2 elections and couldn't even win an election in his own district. But he was like, yeah, tariffs hurt farmers. And I'm like, well, no, tariffs don't hurt farmers. Trade wars hurt farmers, right? Because yes, he was right about the bankruptcies and the pharmacy, but like, let me tell you, it's a casualty of war. That's why we've always bailed them out. Farmers overall are screwed over by how the system and how they actually provide food and get paid money. They're screwed, and they're being screwed not just by tariffs, but they're being screwed by John Deere and other people that where they can't work on their fucking own. They buy these things to make the food, and they can't even work on the
can't work
machines
on
when
their
they're
own
broke.
tractors. Got to only
You know
bring
what I'm
it to
saying?
John Deere.
Like the trade wars in the sense of a retaliation of tariffs is what harms farmers, not the actual tariffs. It's the same tariff money that he used to bail them out to the tune of $12 billion, and in his first administration, $8 billion. And so, like, this is the BS that these essentially that these liberal provocateurs, they don't have a lot. I'm telling you, liberals don't have a lot of facts to stand on, bro. And even the best comment, like David Pacman, he's getting fried because they keep bringing up other things, like, but he's in the Epstein files, all
I
this
had
stuff.
to
It's
stop
like,
watching David Packman. David Packman get on my fucking nerves now.
but he's been cooked up
I
though. Like
used to
he's been
listen to
he
all of the David Packmans,
yeah.
the
I stopped listening to
Young
TYT.
Turks,
Yeah,
yeah, the Young
because they,
Turks,
you
the
know why I stopped. I lost
Sam
respect for
Cedar
them.
show, nigga.
Yeah,
I was subscribed to all of these guys.
you know why I stopped listening to them? Because even though they're independent media, they're not independent in general. So they will play the game for clicks. They will play the game for impressions. They will play the game because when Trump first won, TYT initially Sheikh Unger went to the Turning Point USA, met with Charlie Kirk, and then all of a sudden he saw that all of his liberal friends, sort of people, that liberal coworkers that were super liberal, that the co-hosts and everything turned against him and left. He lost subscription to the point where now he's over here running ads on every video. So he realized that, oh, maybe I gotta ramp up the rhetoric and the bullshit again. Like every time we cover politics, we gotta make sure we shit on Trump, even when there's something good for you, let's shit on it because, or even like I've never seen him do a video on Trump accounts because you got nothing to say. Why is he not making? Why is he not? Why they don't make videos on the Save Act? Oh, because it's racist. The Save Act is not fucking racist. That just literally, the Democrats have taken the power away from the word racist because, and this is the thing that I fear because they call racist on they call race on everything. Now, when there's real racism, nobody's gonna look for it now because it's like, okay, you're gonna go there. I'm not racist. It takes the power away from it. And
Yeah.
yeah, that's just for me. It's just I can't be liberal, bro, because this is not the party of Obama. We can talk about that on another day. This is no longer the party of Obama. Obama said it himself. He
I'm
didn't
not
say
gonna
that, but he
say
alluded to it.
I'm not gonna say that you can't be liberal, but when it comes down to being liberal, I really feel like you guys got to start reeling the more extreme guys and some of the loudest people that you guys have in. You know what I'm saying?
Bro.
Um,
Bro, see, this is the
like
thing I push back on though.
what's the little gay guy on X that
Um,
went in seeing Kamala? People like him, Conscious Lee,
yeah, consciously is a
all,
fucking retard.
all of these guys who sit here and sell you guys this fucking dream.
Yeah,
It's like some of you guys got y'all have to reel some of these extreme voices
Kylie, what's
in.
her name? Or Kylie, whatever her name is, another dumbass one. Like
Who?
they don't actually. It was this one white girl that just like basically hates her own skin. Talks about how white people are this and white people are racist and da 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 and black people are oppressed. And it's like, bro, the only thing you could ever tell me about black people is that we're oppressed in America, and when it's like we're actually not, bro. Like it's really not like people, bro. It's not even funny. I'm so glad I'm not liberal no more.
They
My
gotta stop.
whole
You gotta
life
stop
is
listening to
easier
people
now.
like that. People like that,
But they be
you
having the
know,
most followers, bro. They
they
be
be
having
having the
like
most
10.
followers, but they getting the most money, so they sitting back. They're not
Yeah,
willing
they're
to
getting
fight the
paid.
same fight that you niggas are willing to fight. At
Look,
the end of
Harry
the day,
Sisson,
y'all people have elevated so many of these guys to a status to where they're not living the same lives of you or in the same struggle or fight as you niggas no more. Half of these guys are not concerned with the same things. They don't have the same problems as you anymore. So a lot of it becomes a grift. A lot of it, especially the people like a Conscious Lee and I keep forgetting the little gay nigga's name on X, but he blocked me too. But
Larry Sisson or whatever his name is, because he
nah,
just got caught with some nude shit. He's got a
nah, it's the
sending
black nigga.
sexual assault.
It's the black nigga. He went to the one who went to meet Kamala, but
Yeah,
um,
it's probably some, yeah, probably some,
he recently had himself a little wake up call too, to
yeah.
realize that these people are just gonna use you. These
Right.
guys don't really
Do
give
you
a
realize
damn.
some of these for the audience? Did y'all need to know that some of these content creators online, like I don't know if it's necessarily
They're
consciously,
being used
but
themselves.
yeah, well, no, they're being paid. They're getting paid by Act Blue. So a lot of them, and that was exposed months ago, where they exposed a list of all these content creators who are getting paid by either Act Blue or some Democratic conduit. And so, and I'm not saying that the right doesn't do this because I haven't really looked into it. I wouldn't put it past them to have all these big accounts be not even stationed in America or whatever it is. But a lot of them on the left, and these are the ones that are telling you that life is so bad in America. Like literally, when I was a liberal, I used to think, bro, like, because all I would see is like all this emotional shit. Like these content creators, you watch them, they're never analytical. They're never like, they don't talk analytics. It's always da 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 da. Black people are oppressed because of they flash this one thing on the screen and that's it. They don't even let you even look at it for long enough to hit the pause button, and then they say, oh, yeah, this is outside, and it's always this passionate, emotional. Like I just feel like my emotions as a liberal was being like just drained and just like I was being like emotionally fucked every day, bro. Like by this, be living in that echo chamber. I always thought that the world was against me. I hated America. I was like, why is America like this? Da, 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 da. It's so fucked up to be black in America. It's so hard to be black. Everybody, like everything is. I have all these barriers that are holding me down because the liberals are because of all these arbitrary facts and stats that they use that are completely half of the time arbitrary. You know what I'm saying? That like if you actually people and they hope that they because you're so emotionally involved that they hope that you never look and question it. And when you do, we're gonna ostracize you like we do everybody that defects. We're gonna call you a racist. We're gonna call you stupid. You're gonna lose friends. You're gonna lose family, or you can just stay. That's why I said a lot of people in America are closeted conservatives, and 2016 showed you that. And guess what? 2024 showed you that because there's a lot of people that was like, yeah, we voting for Kamala, bro. Facts, bro. Democrat, I'm registered. What you talking about? Wait, and then put Trump name on that thing, baby. Nah. And there was memes about that. So I think but people, what the Democrats or people are starting to see, and Democrats are starting to turn, because Obama talked about this in one of his many paid interviews that he does. He says that we moved too far to the left. CNN did a poll that that most Democrats and voters think that the party has gone too far left, meaning you caring too much about the minorities, right? It's like, and I hate to say it, it's like we don't. It's not wrong to care for the minority in America, but the truth of the facts, the reality of the situation, the minority isn't holding up America. It's the middle guys. It's me and you. It's the people that are adding to the population, which people don't realize that how a society decays, the population decreases, the value, there's 7 stages. You can look it up on YouTube of what causes an empire or a country to decay: drugs, uncontrolled immigration, lack of babies being born, all that. These are all the things like population. I mean, look at North Korea. You think people think North Korea is a great country? They're starving because they had a famine and half their population died, and they're sanctioned in such an isolation bullshit that they can't even find workers. They still rely on actual like manual labor to bring the food, the goods and services. They don't use robots or machines. Imagine still working in the fucking plantation and picking cotton to bake clothes. Like, you feel what I'm saying? So and people don't understand it. Like, in order to free your mind and understand, like before you get outraged, take a breath, bro. Take a fucking breath and research what you're being outraged. It might just save your life, because I fully firmly believe if Alex Peretti and this other jackass that was blocking the road did that, they would have been alive today. They probably, maybe she would have went home and made hot cocoa with her lesbiana, or maybe they would have went home and ate some coochie instead of being out in the fucking streets. You know what I'm saying? Or in the sense of Alex Peretti, how about you just, you're a nurse, you work a long day, go smoke a joint and chill and watch this shit on TV like me. You see what I'm saying? Like, or go out, but no, you chose to be out there to be an obstructor and fight all these people and get these, like, you're literally fighting enforcement. And to return to your ICE topic, you know what I thought was so fucked up about this whole ICE shit, bro, is that about these two people being killed, and how everybody's like making me and you and everybody else feel like we're heartless sons of bitches. Bro, black people have been killed by local PD for doing less than what Peretti did and what this other, what's her name, Renee Good did. You think yo, Terrence? Do you remember Terrence Crutcher? I think his name is. Forgive me if it's wrong. Terrence Crutcher's fucking got shot by Shelby, whatever her name is, the police officer, because his truck broke down in the middle of the road. He wasn't, and he wasn't doing what Renee Good was doing. He wasn't obstructing the police or obstructing and causing. His shit broke down, and he got killed by the. And then that woman got not only did she was exonerated, she was given a promotion when she was brought back to work. And Renee Good can take it upon herself. This is why it's fucking racist, because she's white. She can feel emboldened with her whiteness to go in the middle of the street, and not just, and now you're taking it to another. You're talking about like federal now, bro. You're talking federal now, bro.
This is why I
And
said what I
obstruct a
said here
federal
in this Clinton
investigation, and when she
team. What's
get
been
killed,
going on
everybody got to
here?
burn
So
shit down there.
let us update me. I know
This
this
is why I
guy
said what I
apparently got
said
shot
here,
after
man.
the
Look,
lady
this,
apparently got shot.
this is a beautiful thing, but I'm gonna need y'all to understand this, man.
These ICE officers are offing these white people, okay, and it's uh, it's unfortunate,
Yeah,
but
yeah, it was avoidable.
welcome to being
Unfortunate,
black.
but avoidable. Facts.
Welcome to being black. Okay, it is what it
Yeah,
Welcome to
is.
being
I'm
black.
sorry.
facts.
Feel me? I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Welcome to
Yeah.
being black. I'm sorry. I'm
Facts.
sorry.
Exactly. I'm sorry. Welcome to what's being black.
You
People
feel
who got.
me?
I remember they shot a brother years ago for having a Bible in his hand, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? And you, Alex Peretti, get to think you can put your hands on an officer and expect not to get fucked up, and then and then on top of that, bro, have a gun on you, bro. If he was black, no, if he was black, nobody would have. It probably would have. Nobody would have cared. They'd be like, "Oh, he's armed," because we only care. We only burn cities down when black unarmed people get killed by the police, right? Now we have a person that literally was resisting arrest. That I clearly saw his hand put his hand on the police officer. It wasn't like he was just walking down the street, minding his own fucking business, not getting involved. Saw ICE, One was just blowing his whistle, like how some people just stand away from them and leave him alone, but blow the whistle. He wasn't doing all that. And then the days before they caught him being vandalizing and it's literally attacking the cars of the ICE people. This is not protest. You
Mm.
are obstructing justice. You are resisting arrest. You are interfering with like this is the
So they
madness that
already
we.
wanted to get his ass. Okay.
Exactly. You already, yeah, they already saw your face. They already know who you are. You wear, and your dumbass wear the same clothes too, dumbass.
Mm.
Like, like, let me be honest with you, bro. Let me level with you. I have compassion for the death of these people, but like I had to sit and ask myself, right? Do I feel sorry for a person that goes onto the highway and floors it and goes 130 miles per hour and slams into a wall and gets ejected and killed? Do I feel yes? I feel sorry that this person died, but do am I gonna feel more sorry for him, or if he stays same scenario, but he goes in and crashes and kills two innocent people that were going 65 miles per hour? I
Mm.
feel more sorry for real victims than I do for people that fucked around and found out, or people that essentially took a calculated risk and you so happen to tragically lose your life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
So
saying? You did a
at the end of the
calculated
day, you
risk.
wanted to be brave. You went out there with the possibility to say,
But we're
hey,
but no,
I'm
we're
gonna
evil for
stand
that,
here.
bro.
I'm gonna stand up to these people. I'm gonna be the person. It's my
Yeah.
job to
You
do
wanted to
this.
be a
And
social
so,
justice warrior, there's consequences.
yeah.
When you want to play Batman and Superman, you're gonna get roughed up. When Batman wants to save the world, he knows when he goes out there, or Superman when he goes out there, he knows that he could lose his life saving the world. So there you go. You should have known those consequences. There's consequences for every action, bro. Every action has a consequence. Whether it's a good action or a bad action, there's a consequence. The consequence can be either bad or negative. If I have an action. She could have used the action. She could have went home and licked coochie with her lesbian friend or wife, and she would have been cool, right? But she made it, and that would have been the consequence. You would have had an orgasm, you probably would have had a good life, your cortisol levels would have been down, you would have been a happy person. No, you didn't want to do that. You didn't want to eat the hot cocoa and lick coochie. You wanted to listen to her and go out to the streets and go
Okay.
and obstruct and for 4 minutes, block half the road. Especially, and it wasn't like you were just doing that to protest. You were doing it to protest the ICE. Okay, and then when you pull then whether and I don't think, honestly, if you ask me honestly, I don't think she was trying to hit the officer, to be honest with you. I really don't. But I think what happened is I think she was essentially trying to turn away, but in the process of that,
Yeah.
I have to
Everybody
ask
think they
myself,
big
how does the
shit until they
officer know that?
realize that you not the biggest baddest
But here's the
motherfucker on the
thing,
block.
but Diesel, but in the same breath, how does the officer know that she's not trying to do that? In a split second, in which literally it was
Yeah.
literally seconds, bro. If you count it, it's
Yeah.
like seconds. There's no way. Not to mention you, because you have from the point of view of the officer. See, liberals can't think of anybody else. They can't look at anything else. And these content creators are just giving you one viewpoint. From the point of view from the officer, I this woman was blocking the road for 4 minutes. I walk up, I give her multiple people give her lawful orders. She's disobeying that. You got another one, another lesbiana that's on the other side over here talking shit, saying that I'm a veteran, fucking da 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 da. And then you also have you have this person with the chair with the other officer trying to open the door, and while the other officer trying to open the door, the one his her lesbiana friends will go, drive baby drive, and hits the officer. Like, he hit him, he had an internal bleeding, a grade 1 internal bleeding, and was discharged, because when you have a grade 1, it's just some fluids and then you
He
recover.
had
He had a grade
grade
1
one
internal bleeding, and they
internal
try, oh, that's
bleeding.
fake, that's fake. Like, what are you talking
Damn.
about? And he did. You see how that whole Renee Good shit died down, because you can't fake that. You cannot fake those things. You cannot fake those records. He had internal bleeding and was hospitalized later in the day. So it's all quiet now. And then they found another one, Alex Preddy, and it's like, oh nah, bro, he was actually a provocateur. He was an
You know,
agitator. He wasn't a protester.
just for a side note, you want to know what I don't like? And I don't know if I can exactly find it, but you know what I don't like when it comes down to these two people dying. Um, it really and I've warned people of this for years. I've warned people of this for years. I've warned our black women. I've warned some of our black men who sit here and they they put our struggles and group our struggles together. You know what I'm saying? I said a long time, and I've said many times on this show that y'all give a lot of people, you know, the I guess go to or go ahead to feel like whatever struggle the LGBT or white man or white woman is going to is equivalent to ours, and it's not. It's
No, it's
not.
not. They
I've
well, that's
always been
because yeah.
against people making these little videos. Now, this is not the exact video I seen, but I'm sitting here looking, literally watching a video like this of this dude, Trayvon Martin, Mike Brown,
Yeah, yeah,
George Floyd,
yeah.
and those two at the end, and I'm just sitting here like,
It's a
wait, what
fucking
the
it's
fuck?
a psyop, bro. It's a
I'm
psyop. They
like,
trying
what
to.
the fuck?
It's
Are you niggas
conditioning.
really serious right now? I don't like that shit. I don't not like I said, this video isn't the representation of what I well, it's kind of an example of what I'm talking about. I'm just saying I seen a similar video, basically grouping them up in this say their names thing, co-opting the whole say their names movement
Yeah,
to where it's now this, pretty, white people, LGBT, and it's convoluted.
yeah.
It's not even
What
about the black
and they don't
voices.
realize that they're watering down real problems. It's the same thing I said about the word racist. When
Yeah,
they're it's like Drake said,
I've
they
been saying
COVID
this shit for
they
years.
like COVID, they pack them together. They're trying to pack these people to get together. They're trying to pack all these things together, and then and they're hoping that again. You see how emotionally charged that video is, bro. I had to look away because I'm like, damn, this shit is mad depressing. Like, bro, it really is a depressing thing to be a concern, to be a liberal, bro. Just look at all the content that they produce. It's always emotion, emotion. What statistical subjective evidence did they
Over
provide you in
rage.
that video? Nothing. What analytical anything that proves they're claiming that video? Nothing. All emotion. Oh, they're the same. They're the same. So now somebody who's a lazy, ignorant person who doesn't know any better will say, "Yeah, this is what's really happening. Look, say their name, say their name." It's like that. Like, no, George Floyd was killed, unarmed, was killed, died partially due to
And
fentanyl
how
in his
are all
body,
these people
illegal
getting
amount of
killed?
fentanyl.
How are all these
Huh?
people getting killed in the first place?
Right. Exactly. Exactly. Like George Floyd is not the same as these two people. George Floyd was killed partially due to a fentanyl and partially due to somebody pressing down on his fucking chest and he couldn't ventilate efficiently. You know what I'm saying? So like
But we
not to
talk,
mention,
we lumping everybody up in the say their names. Like,
dude,
what are we
it's
doing?
the liberal psyop,
Why
and
are
this is
we
what I was trying
lumping
to
all
tell
of
one
these
of our
people up in
friends.
one movement? And like,
Right. And this is what I'm just trying to tell one of our common friends. Like, I'm like, bro, this is the shit. You gotta get out of your echo chamber, bro. It's like this is the shit that they're telling you, and it's just not true. Like even the whole Trump is racist shit is it's slowly crumbling, bro. He's more prejudiced. He looks more prejudiced than he is racist, bro. And we're all fucking prejudiced. Bro. I make
I'm prejudiced
anti-liberal
as a
videos
motherfucker.
all day. I'm a prejudice as a motherfucker. Like I'm
Prejudice,
prejudiced against.
racist, however you
Yeah.
want to code me.
Oh
I
yeah,
might
yeah.
admit to both. But
Did you see
I'm
what I
just
just tweeted
saying.
at you though, bro? Like Whoopi Goldberg saying now that it's now. See, I'm telling you, the left is changing, bro. This watch. Let me tell you, you're gonna start seeing more for all the people watching in this audience right now, listening to the
Let's see
Doja
it.
Room, and for my boy
No,
Diesel. Look, she's saying now that DEI is gonna
there
really benefit
seems
black
to be
people.
no ability in his mind to distinguish between black people and his idea of what DEI is. And when you really look up and see who this was for, who benefited from DEI, it was not black folks. We got the vote in the 60s. So my question is, well, what was going on before that? What about where was all of the things that you say were removed? Did people not have jobs? Did the people, if you couldn't go to school, didn't you have to find a different way to support your family? That's what people did. That's what we all did. So he has not a great history.
Hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
I
So
hate watching The View.
Yeah, the view, but this is the liberal psyop training, and they just recently try to get other people on that. We hold on, man. You go ask your mother. Go ask your mother. I'm sorry, bro. Like he know I'm doing the pod. He just don't like seeing me on the phone. Where was I going at? Yeah, bro. This is the liberal psyop trainer. Sorry, my job is texting me real quick. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, it's the liberal
it's
psyop trainer. So you'll start to see more and more people turn their position because that we all know what so Trump cancels DEI. I think she was kind of alluding to Trump. Trump cancels the DEI and rolls back civil rights protections. So like, but when I looked into that in terms of the whole Trump is racist thing, and because of the rolling back of the civil rights protections, some of those
mhm.
rights that they rolled back were ineffective. They wouldn't. Him rolling them back was more political service than it actually caused any harm to any black people. And because inside the judicial statutes protect certain things, certain groups of people and black people. So it was like it was significant, but it was insignificant. And of course, they put it on steroids, saying that he's racist. When it comes to the DEI, I actually taught some of those DEI classes. They were always it's statistically proven, even before Whoopi Goldberg today. She's saying this today in 2025, but back in 2020. KCRW Left, Right, and Center covered it. What's her name? Sarah Itzker. She covered it and said that it brought up the statistics that they were actually ineffective. They have been proven ineffective. All those DEI classes and all that stuff. Not to mention it's strain on meritocracy. People are not getting jobs that they don't feel that they merit. Like I would never want to be a nurse just because I'm black, or you just had to pass me. Like if I don't deserve to
They
be a
need
nurse,
some
I shouldn't be
nurses
a
who are
nurse.
black. You
Right.
go over
And
there. Like
and exactly. And what
it's not
happens is
helping anything.
what also happened what happened also was that what businesses were just doing it to check a box. So I'm gonna just hire all these black people right here so I don't look racist, and do all this so I don't look racist, and follow with the law, because you're forcing people to do that. And then it is reverse discrimination, because when you're saying, when you have a two qualified candidates that are equally qualified for the job, but you're saying, oh, because of this DEI initiative, I'm going to be incentivized. If I Sometimes they were incentivizing company, giving them money if they hired X amount of people. So now I want to get this off. So like, okay, fuck you, white person that could actually do something good for my company, and you're actually qualified, highly recommended, and you are a whiz kid. Now let me go get the black guy because I don't want to look racist. And that's not fair to either the white person or the person of color, because it's kind of telling the person of color that you don't have to be smart. You could be stupid, just black, and I'll get you a job. And it's
Right.
also a fuck you in the face of the people that actually put in work, regardless of race. If you take race out of it, these two individuals are both being fucked over in terms of morality. And I always call out morality with the left, because they are the ones, bro. Stop me if I'm wrong, bro. Aren't they the ones that always portray themselves as the good guys? They hide behind this guise or this facade of we're
Yeah, all
equality, we are the loving
inclusive.
ones, we're all inclusive, bro.
Yeah.
When they're doing wicked shit and they're sanctioning wicked shit, that and doing fucked up shit just like the other side. You and I come on them. Sorry, so excuse me, pause. I come at them because it's to the point now where people can't feel comfortable feeling safe wearing a MAGA hat walking down the street. Nicki Minaj can't come out and support Trump or Republicans. People like Ebro can go and say Drake is right wing and expect it to be something, to do something to them, because of this entire narrative. Like the liberals, the Democrats did something very well. And what the Democrats did very well is to control the fucking minds. They understood that if, as long as I play the emotion card, not the race card, not the thing, the emotion card, I'm always gonna have these niggas and all these people vote and think. Like people are so out of the loop. And I talk to normal people every day, Democrat liberals. They are
Mhm.
so far gone that none of them don't know shit about local politics. They don't know shit about economy and how the economy works. They think Trump is racist, but even though they can't, I mean, I know racist people. You
Those are
know
people
racist
that
people.
read headlines, man.
Yeah,
Those
they
are
just
people
read the
that read
headlines.
headlines.
But they understand that. And it's not just them, the entire government, all these politicians understand that. That's why if you want to think about, here's a critique against Trump. People are not being arrested. The Epstein files are out. We know who's
Yeah.
in there. No one's being brought into, which is not true. The Clintons are on trial right now, but no one. And what's name just got arrested today, Prince Harry. But he had to. But he has to. But I have a take on that. By the way, I think they have some people will have to be sacrificed.
They have
But
to.
yeah, some people
No,
will
you
have to
can't
be
sit here and
sacrificed to
no.
not be pissed off. like Tim Walz is done for the reason because his whole fraud case is real. That's why he's not running for re-election because he could never win another election. But he needs to be in handcuffs, and Trump needs to start putting people in handcuffs. And I would agree with that. What's all they said? You ran on cleaning the swamp and draining the swamp. All right, now we found out who's in the swamp to start arresting people, and there's a huge coalition of MAGA people that want to, yeah, like there's a whole coalition of MAGA people that's not standing for that.
Yeah. And I was gonna speak on that actually, getting into, uh, the Epstein files, just because I feel like that's one of the critiques that we can definitely say about Trump and the lack of files, the constant deflections. I feel like a lot of people, including the FBI director, really led this strong charge of saying that, hey, day one, these Epstein files are coming out. No bullshit. Let's just get to it. And that's what a lot of people wanted to hear. However, here we are in February 2026, and we're just getting what seems to be the Epstein files. But we all know that millions of files are still missing. Okay. Um, I feel like because Trump is implicated so many times in these files, he's not really trying to talk much about it. Um, but I think it's worth looking at that too. Now, we got to look at the possibility of Trump being heavily involved and what that would look like, going forward, whether he would be arrested, whether he, you know, because at the end of the day, whatever is being held back, I feel like a lot is being held back. There's a lot that we don't know or haven't seen, and I think that's saving Trump's life right now. And regardless of what's being done when it comes down to children and certain things being done, all bets is off the table for me. So I
Yeah,
think though
yeah.
I think that is very I think that's very, very important. And um,
Oh yeah.
I feel like what's in the files, whether it's damning or not, I feel like it would definitely be enough to distract people from all the progress that he is making. And I'm not gonna lie, almost rightfully so, because if things come out to show that he played a larger role than
Yeah.
he would like us to believe, that's the only thing I'm worried about with
In
this
ter-
election,
in
with
terms
this
of Trump.
second term. You know what I'm saying? I'm like,
Well, here's the so
we gotta talk about
can I
that.
provide some insight on that, Bro?
Yeah,
So when I say that the liberal narratives, um, the liberal narratives, about about Trump like falling off, right? So when it comes to this Epstein thing, yes, he's mentioned 38,000 times. That's such a vague thing to go off of, right? But there has been multitude. First of all, how many more people? I'm gonna ask you in the audience, how many more people have to come forward and say that he didn't do anything wrong? He not only didn't do anything wrong when the case was opened up in Florida. Remember that he opened that case when the case was opened up in Florida. He was one of the people that snitched on Epstein and helped and cooperated with the police. That actually was released. He actually also said to them, "Yo, I'm glad you guys are looking into him because he's kind of a creep." And then before this, when he realized what was going on, he cut ties with him, kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago, and basically looked the other way, and helped the police. He didn't he didn't snitch on him, but he basically in the streets. If you cooperate with the police, you're still a snitch. So he wasn't the whistleblower on Epstein, but he
you
knew
talking
he
Trump?
didn't just right, yeah, Trump. He didn't just sit by idly knowing this information and did nothing. The minute he had the opportunity to do something, he got rid of him. He cut ties with him, and he banned and cooperated with the police. Not to mention, one of the victims before she died said, "Yeah, Trump knew about it, but he wasn't part of it." So, how many more people for the liberal Democrats out there listening? How many more people have to tell you that he wasn't involved with it? He doesn't. I mean, it's like MAGA, from the MAGA side of it. They've already vindicated him. What they want from him now is for him to start arresting people and start digging and start getting after people. And that's what a lot of the MAGA people are trying to do. They want him. They want him to start putting people in cuffs. People want accountability. People want their government to be accountable. You said drain the swamp, so drain the swamp, Donald Trump. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to your fears, if he did something that he knew, how many more people have to say that he had nothing to do? Now, you know who's really sketchy and that the Democrats stay ducking? Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton is all over them files, bro, doing very, very weird things, making a fool out of Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton, yo, no wonder why she didn't win. She got women respect game, respect game. You have to be the dumbest bitch in the fucking world bro. Your man was finessing you on like you was dumb. He got, bro. This is why people say Bill Clinton. There was a reason why they said Bill Clinton was a nigga, bro, because he was getting top in the fucking White House with his wife in the other room, and on top of that was with Epstein, with the young girls getting all on the plane, in the pool, hanging out, all of this, bro. He was having a good time at your expense. You look like a damn fool, and that's why you ain't win. But beyond the freaking radical feminist bullshit, you ain't no feminist. You how you up? Yeah, no what way. You know what? I fuck Bill Clinton, man. Bill Clinton made Hillary Clinton into a feminist because he was acting like all masculine, fucking bitches on the side and everything, getting head and top in the freaking White House. She got all mad and wanted to start this whole feminist bullshit, and she became a feminist. So thank you, Bill Clinton. He's the reason why we got feminism, making it hard for men out here to find suitable brides. We gotta go. Niggas gotta get their passport and leave. Like that's my satire for the day. But
But
it's just
I did have I'm going a little bit further. I don't know if we'll get to Bill Clinton, but we did at least yesterday get the arrest of British former, like you said, Prince Andrew,
Prince Andrew. Yeah,
and
he got nothing
that
to lose. Of course he's gonna fall on the sword. If the royal family didn't denounce him, they would have had lawyers to fight that. But now the loyal family said, nah, we ain't jacking that little kid shit, bro. We ain't jacking that.
we don't know
So
nothing about that.
nah, you are no
They
longer
put
part of
him
us.
on the island.
Nigga say you're not like us.
Arrested on suspicion of misconduct in public office. Now known as Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, he was taken into custody in Norfolk just a short while ago. He is accused of allegedly sharing confidential information with the late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Mountbatten Windsor has previously denied any wrongdoing over his ties to Epstein. King Charles had stripped his brother of his titles back in October and has since evicted him from Windsor. Let's get back down to CNN's Salma Abdulaziz, who joins us live in London. Salma, what's the latest that you're hearing?
I want to start by asking maybe questions of what we don't know and what we do know so far. So we do know that he's been arrested on suspicion of misconduct in public office, but there's a lot of details that are still missing here, of course, Rahel. We don't know the specifics of the allegations of this investigation by the police. We're talking about a period of time between 2001 to 2011 when he was representing the UK as a trade envoy. But what are the specific allegations, the specific accusations of misconduct? We don't yet know that. What information actually prompted Thames Valley Police to make this arrest? That's the key question here, because we understand that they have been assessing this claim for some time now. I would say a period of days. That latest trove of emails where we see these allegations come to light has been out for a few weeks now. So what was the trigger? What was the switch? What was it that the police held on to that said, okay, now is the time when we need to take this very extraordinary action, of course, in this country? We also don't know where Andrew Mountbatten Windsor is currently.
This is also very hard, I imagine, for the authorities to really get all of these people. We're talking a national thing. Like, this is global.
Yeah, you got to collaborate with
we don't have a global police force, and typically police, at least even from different countries, don't operate in tandem on this scale. Right. So I'm really trying to
But
figure
this is
out.
why. But this is why. How serious though? If you talking about the royal family, bro. I mean, they don't have a lot of control and laws and stuff like that, but they represent a relic, and they're a relic of the old British Empire. So
Mhm.
this is like I don't know. How could I really when it's like we what's a relic? That's like our Constitution saying something crazy, or
Yeah.
if our Constitution was a living family or something, or like the first family
Uh,
in terms of the
his
first
family
family
dates back older than the Constitution itself. We're
Constitution.
talking
Yeah.
thousands of years.
Oh yeah,
But
100%.
it's amazing because it kind of seems like they're trying to get him on something else other than just what's implicated in the Epstein files. But I guess I seen it seems like they kind of found a loophole to really bring him in and to bring
And
somebody in at least and to get this process going. But who knows? Is this going to stop in London? Is this going to start and stop in London, or is this going to, be something where we can continue to
well,
get more evidence? We can get some things out of him. We can get more
I'm gonna
information,
I'm gonna
lead
tell you
to our
this.
arrest.
What will come from this possibly is him singing like a canary, right? And
Oh yeah,
because if Maxine Goswell, the co perpetrator of these sexual assaults for these young kids, can get immunity or better
a
treatment
lot of people are saying
while
that's not
she
her in jail. They saying it's a body
yeah.
double that's in jail right now. Did you see that?
Yeah, I mean, see, that's the thing where I can't give much energy to stuff
I
like
can't
that. I
say yay
mean,
or nay, but I can't put
I
it
can't
past
say your
these
name,
niggas.
but yeah, I can't
I
say
can't
yay
put
or
it
nay, but I'm
past
not
them.
gonna put energy into it at the same time. You feel me? Because I just can't. I just can't. Like it's too much. And for those conspiracy people that's doing that work out there, keep doing it. I just can't until you actually show me DNA evidence that's not her. I can't get raise my cortisol on that, my blood pressure. You know what I mean? I'm only gonna go with what's reported and goes with the facts, and that's it. You know what I mean? But the thing is with another thing about these Epstein files, what I don't understand is that Epstein was yes, he was a pedophile, and also what's his like his the thing that brought him down. But I want to know the other stuff that he was doing, like the espionage, like all this other stuff. Like, was he a person that was controlling the world? Like, I want to know what other illegal things this guy did. What was he doing? Did he set us against, like, how did he, like, did he set us up to be bitches for Israel? Like, I want to know. I want to
That's
know the
basically
other
what it
shit.
seems like. It
Like, if
seems like
nobody's talking about
he
that,
has
everybody
had these
wants the
donors.
pedophiles. And I'm like, bro, there's something. Yes, the pedophiles. Yes, let's get the pedophiles. I understand that, but there is other things that these people that are doing that are not. They did the pedophiles did something to the kids. They are people that are doing very shadowy, very deep statey things that are just not. There, no one's talking about. As long as they're talking, like there's probably a group of them that are like, as long as they're talking about the pedophile ones, we good, because we redacted all the other shit that was sensitive security, national security, so we're good. Let them keep talking about them pedophiles or that. And also as a community, as an electorate, we also just need to chill with like everybody's name being in there. Like everybody's now to the point where, and the liberals are very good at this, at just pointing out the name or how many times someone's name was referenced or something. Like, bro, there has to be something beyond that. Like anybody, he knew a lot of people. This is a man that sat in many rooms
Nah, I'm
with
I'm
very
more
powerful
so
dignitaries.
I'm more so on the camp of I don't know if a name is mentioned. I don't care how small, how minute, that shit needs to be investigated.
Well,
All
yeah,
of these
yeah,
niggas need to be
absolutely, 100%.
investigated
I think academics are
thoroughly.
the same thing.
I I truly think that
But where I'm getting at though
from
is,
Pusha T to
yeah,
Prince Andrew, everybody needs to be thoroughly investigated, questioned if they're not being already, or if they haven't already, I would imagine some people have already been questioned or, have talked to the FBI or whoever, but I really think we gotta treat this like a different situation altogether because there's not enough answers for me. And when there's not enough answers like this, everybody, we need to stop. Nobody leaves the room. Hold up. Ain't nobody leave until we get some answers. That's the type of I'm on that type of time. Everybody getting put in this box.
no,
Everybody
academics said the
getting put
same
in this
shit.
room, and you ain't getting let out till you get cleared. I'm sorry.
No,
So I'm looking
academics
at
said the same
everybody a
shit,
little
man.
bit, who's been mentioned a little bit weird, or a little bit, a little bit side eye-ish. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, here's the thing. That's all. That's fine. But to sit here and just go pedophile, like just because your name is in it, pedophile. Like, come on, bro. Come on, bro. You know what I'm saying? I know I made that whole thing about Pusha T that was more, part of music and me being a commentary and being jokester and satirical. But realistically, I'm not ready to just call Pusha T a pedophile. But to have the accusation is wild. Like with the Pusha T, actually, I don't take that back. The Pusha T accusation, even though it was just like a phone tip, that accusation to have somebody even throw your name randomly out of the blue, out of nowhere on a phone tip is crazy like that, bro. And what they were accusing
That's
you of was
bad
even
random.
more
It's like,
crazy.
why?
Mad random, bro. It's just
And
kind of
for all the
weird.
people, I've been meaning to say this for a little minute, but for all the people who sat here acting like, oh, this is all coordinated, this is perfect timing, this, that. Let me just ask you this. What the fuck makes you think that there's a OVO stand in the DOJ just sitting here waiting for the Grammys to come up and be like, oh yeah, it's time to push the red button? Like,
Yeah.
Drake
Like,
fans aren't controlling this shit. For
no,
you
what
niggas who are
exactly?
sitting here mad at Drake fans, niggas like Charlemagne. I'm sorry, I know we going off a little bit off
Nah,
topic,
we
but
can go off. I don't give a shit.
this is some Epstein shit. This is just on some
Music is part of the State of the Union.
for you niggas to sit here and act like this is all mainly Charlemagne, because Charlemagne was the loudest voice over here trying to co-opt all of this shit, and it makes me look at him a little bit weird too, because my boy did just get dropped that 200 mil into his bank account. So
Mm.
I expect his tune to be a little bit more tempered, but it's like for him to be the loudest voice and to be trying to put all of this off on OVO Twitter, and this is all OVO Twitter, they're just coming up with the perfect timing and all of this. It's like, bro, we don't work at the DOJ. I'm pretty
Mm.
sure nobody on OVO Twitter works at the DOJ. So for you to be trying to blame all of this and make and say, "Hey, everybody squirrel, it's these guys," it's like, what are you talking about? It's what are we talking about right now? This shit is absurd. So I just had to say that for a little sidebar. We
No.
got to stop the bullshit and stop acting like these people are beyond doing these things.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody is beyond doing this shit. I've seen stranger stories, stranger things done. I'm not putting shit past it, and some of the more extreme things
It's
might live in there to throw you guys off. But
yeah,
y'all can't, y'all can't just be going for the bullshit anytime they throw bullshit your way. You feel me? You
bro.
gotta really
The,
stay woke on some real
bro,
shit. Like,
it's the liberals, bro. It's the liberals, bro. They believe all types of bullshit. I have never
and
had
that's
a debate with
crazy.
the
That's
liberals.
what stay woke used
Yeah,
to mean.
yeah.
That's what staying woke used to mean.
That's what woke is. It's being a social awareness, a heightened
But these
social
niggas get
awareness.
fed all the bullshit, and they're both supposed to be the quote unquote woke shit. Well, the
Mm-hmm.
woke people.
Mm-hmm. I'm just glad,
They
bro,
eat
that
it
I
up.
grew. I'm just glad that I grew up because people say, "Oh, people who are saying, well, Mills, you a grifter, or you're just going as the wind goes." First of all, shut the fuck up. Anybody that ever thinks that about anybody is just retarded. Okay. First of all, we are all, and I say retarded actually in the medical sense because we used to be able to use it in the medical sense. That means you haven't grown. If you think that
Respectfully.
if your views don't change as you ascend in society and ascend in life, and you don't go, not everybody has kids, right? But having kids is another step that you're taking in life. It's a charge, and you're
Yeah.
giving to society because you're contributing to the population and the livelihood of this country when you have children. That's why it's a good thing to have kids responsibly, right? And so when you are contributing jobs, when you're a business owner and paying taxes and all of these taxes as you go up, right? You are contributing to society. You know what I'm saying? You feel part of it. And because you feel part of it, you feel a sense of responsibility to it. You feel a sense of like, man, this is my country. And a sense of pride.
Yeah, I put blood, sweat, and
and
tears into
bro,
this. I got a
bro,
business here, a family here.
yeah,
I didn't put my
right,
roots here.
bro.
Like, you know what
Can
I'm
I just
saying?
tell you something? Why I every day I look at how liberals, how these Democrats just keep brainwashing these fucking liberal people, bro. Do you realize when you go to other people's countries, people like look at Venezuelans that are here in America. When they captured Maduro, they were like, "This is like I'm so happy to be here and everything," but like I'm very happy for Venezuela. Like these people have such other people in other countries
But
have
they didn't even
so
know.
much
People were
pride.
wilding. They were
Bro,
wilding out.
yes,
Meanwhile, Venezuelans are rejoicing.
rejoicing.
I
And my
was
thing is,
watching this shit in
there are
real
people,
time.
bro, there are people in other countries that have so much self pride, such country pride. Only in America, who's a superpower, we are
No,
the
they
only
these liberals
superpower
think they know
where
everything.
we're exactly where we have a group of people that are telling you that America is racist, America's anti-gay, where we are the most we were been which is crazy, which is this is another factor throughout to defeat and to just add to the crumbling of the logical fallacies that they live on. America is one of the most leading progressive countries on social justice, bro. Like when you think about it
We
through
were built on
history,
it.
from the history of America, if you look at the history of America to now, we have been we passed gay marriage. Every other country followed, or other countries followed. We passed this, they follow. We passed civil rights, other countries follow. Like we revolted in the 13 colonies and got independence. Other countries did that and got the independence from the Great Britain. We have been the leaders of innovation and of social justice for years, but yet we have people saying like Mark Lamont Hill and all these fucking people, we're a racist country and that you're being oppressed. You know what these people don't talk about, bro? These left fucking liberals, they don't talk to you about how good black people are being in the economy. You ever notice that? They don't ever talk about black businesses from 2022 to now have provided 1.7 trillion dollars in GDP to our country. They don't talk about how many black men and women are graduating every year. You don't hear these statistics. It's always negative, negative,
No,
negative oppression, discrimination, right? You don't talk about how black entrepreneurs
man, they're
are making a
benefiting
comeback
off a
in
lot of these
America.
things going
Black
on like
males are
that.
making a comeback in America. They don't talk about how the First Step Act is actually that was written from Trump's first administration has lessened the sentence of so many black fathers, and black fathers are returning home with the lowest recidivism rate in history, in American history. But they keep telling me Trump is racist. They keep telling me that the America's racist. They keep telling me that I can't make it, to the point where I was on arguing on Discord. Remember that day I was heated. There's some black young girl going to college. I'm like, yeah, you're just an anomaly. And some other jackasses
Yeah.
following up. You're an anomaly. My success is an anomaly. No, my success is success because I work hard. And lastly, I'll leave you with this: the whole "pull yourself up by your bootstrap" is not racist. It's actually good advice from the white man, because a black person will tell you, "Oh yeah, you're oppressed, man. Fuck this country. Fuck all this stuff," while they living here and living and thriving on this country, right? And living and existing as if you got unless as if they have the money to pick up and go somewhere else. But they're gonna instead of making the best out of your situation in your home country, you're being told that it's a bad country, right? But it's good by the liberals. When the conservatives say pull yourself by your bootstrap, it's just saying, bro, life is hard and you got to fight this fight. And if you really want to make it up, move up in the tax brackets, you're gonna have to walk a narrow path of, I don't know, not going on lavish vacations, breaking the cycle of financial ignorance in your family. Because you want to hear another statistic about black people and just overall like when you talked about the statistics of overall economy, right? They don't know finances and businesses. Black people don't even know 10% of the black community does not even know how to balance a checkbook or know anything about finances. They don't talk about that, but they only talk about all the other bullshit, right? What people
They
need
ain't
to
going out to
do.
these classes. They not going out to all of these people who are teaching all of
No,
these things. And
no, bro.
they're going
I keep
because
saying this,
people want
even
to
in my
talk.
most
They want to make money off these videos, complaining, riling everybody up to do things that
exactly.
they're not going to do themselves.
Exactly. And bro, just like I said in my most recent video I posted on the Save Act, when it comes to the Save Act, they keep telling me that it's racist, right? Just to just give you a little snippet. They keep saying it's racist because of they're asking for voter IDs. And I had to break the echo chamber. I was like, wait, I've had an ID. I've had a driver's license, and I know they said even in the Save Act they said that a state ID license and a driver and is not enough. And I'll get to that. I'll get to the why that is. But I've always had some form of ID, bro. It's not hard. Everybody has a birth certificate. Everybody has a thing. Whether you lost the original document or not, that's not an excuse. You can go down to your local county clerk from wherever if you were born in that county, right?
Yeah,
Or go to the county that you were born
I've
in,
had to do
right?
it.
Which you can look that up, and they could print you a brand new. They could print you a brand new one. If the
Mhm.
Democrats, what I'm trying to get at, if the Democrats love black people so much and want to save black people and cared about black people so much, they wouldn't be resisting common sense legislation. They would be telling people, "Yo, let's go, yo. Okay, fuck
They're
Trump. We're gonna
resisting it
we've
because
already
they
resisted."
know it boxes out these illegals, and they see all of this shit as
Exactly.
a fucking attack on these illegals. When it's like, my nigga, at some point we gotta reel this shit the fuck in. At some
Right.
point we gotta reel this shit the fuck in. Y'all are gonna bitch and complain whether it's today, tomorrow. It don't matter. The only way
Like
y'all not gonna bitch and complain is if somebody like Biden or
bruh,
Obama is doing it.
let me
So,
tell you right now,
and they're not gonna do it.
I don't care what them fucking polls saying that the Republicans are gonna lose seats and all that shit. Again, closet. I look, the polls ain't worth shit to me. Okay, the polls ain't worth shit. People once give me wait until April. I want to see what happens after tax filing season. I want to see what happens after he gives us the $2,000 checks. I want to see what's because remember November's a long way from now. We got the whole summer. We can do a lot of things in the summer before Congress goes to recess, right? I want to see his approval rating and see if they're gonna win once you start to see. And I have a feeling they're gonna pivot. You're gonna start seeing more Whoopi Goldbergs. They're gonna start twisting and they're gonna pivot because they're starting to realize the economy is not as bad. Everything that they said was going to happen into America when he won again in 2024 has not
Yep.
come to light.
Now
And
it's not, now
in
they
top of that,
acting like it's a no
yeah,
big deal. Oh, you guys are
and
panicking for no reason. No, you guys were the ones
panicking,
riling these guys up, telling them
right?
that a fascist was taking
Yeah,
a control of the government.
too
And
many
now
people don't
you
even know
ask,
what
well,
fascism is,
what are we gonna do? We're just gonna do what we were doing before him. No shit, Sherlock. That's what fucking people were telling you before that.
right?
But you guys acted like Adolf Hitler was taking the country.
Right, he was.
Literally.
He was.
Literally.
They acted even, bro. Even look, just look. I've looked up everything they've called him. They've called him a dictator. That doesn't make sense. Logical fallacy. They've called him a fascist. Logical fallacy. Because it's basically what they did with all these labels is they took a couple of his actions and because they're similar to Hitler, they just painted his whole entire presidency with it. Which to intellectual people who understand logic and understand the world that is retarded and that is a logical fallacy. Just because that's like saying, okay, I took a shit and Hitler took a shit, so I'm Hitler.
Yeah, don't make no sense.
Hitler did this motion with his arm. I did it to tell people to get the hell out because there's an active shooter. I'm Hitler. Like you can't see because the camera's off, but
It gets to the point.
you know what I'm
It gets
talking
to the
about.
point where everybody's supposed to be Hitler, and there's no. It waters the shit down. But real quick, I want to go ahead and jump into because we mentioned Venezuela,
Oh yeah.
and I had this a bit of a video on why Trump is really working in Venezuela. And this is a
Oh,
trusted
and I got an
go-to.
update. Yeah, and I got an update on what I looked up as to what is actually because we haven't talked about nobody's talking about Venezuela recently, right? And what's going on? What we took
Yeah,
the person, but we don't know, right? There's an update, so I got that for after you do the video.
yeah, so bet. Yeah, this is a little video here. My boy Jimmy Dore definitely always bringing in the facts. So we're gonna see. I'm sure we're gonna be updated by looks like Thomas Massey to tell us exactly why America's in Venezuela and what their perspective is on what's going on.
I think it's about might makes right. I think it's about the president wants to have something to his name where he expanded, the United States while he was in office.
So what is the real purpose of Venezuela and Greenland? We all know the real purpose of Iran. What? And by the way, he's not getting us out of Ukraine, for which that's a whole nother story. But what is the real purpose of Venezuela and Greenland? Right? We all know war's a racket. It's never what it appears. So what is it really?
Jimmy, didn't you know it was fentanyl until they found out that Venezuela doesn't make fentanyl. And so then it was cocaine. But no, it's not just cocaine, it's narco terrorism. And it's funded by the oil. Now, this is where they lost me completely. If there's one industry that doesn't need subsidized by the oil industry, it's the cocaine industry, right? Like, I'm pretty sure in the profit and loss balance sheet of Venezuela and the CIA that cocaine is a profit center. So don't tell me we needed to take their oil to keep them from selling cocaine, but that's what we did. And then they said, actually, it's about a quarter of a century old contract that some of these oil companies had with the country of Venezuela, and we're just coming in to enforce the contract and take their oil. But when did our soldiers become the policemen to enforce these civil contracts with foreign countries about who's going to drill and refine their oil? Anyway, so it became about the oil. But we've got enough oil. We got enough. If we want, we could be energy independent in this country. I think it's about them going away from the dollar, from engaging in trade with countries that were sanctioned. It was not what they said it was about in the beginning. They called fentanyl a weapon of mass destruction. And they said that's why we got to bomb the boats and eventually why we got to go into Venezuela. What is Greenland about? Oh, by the way, while we're still on Venezuela, the Constitution says that Congress appropriates the money. That it couldn't be more clear. Okay, it's our job to write the checks. The founders made that the case. But the president and his geniuses at the White House have created a second treasury that's in Qatar. They're saying we're going to take all the oil money and we're going to put it in a bank overseas.
Yes.
No. So one of my questions is, why does the bank need to be overseas when you create your second treasury? I think it's to hide it from the long arm of the law, from the judges who would say that is Congress's money. We're going to take that and put it in the treasury. You can't have money that you spend. Like, it's one thing to confiscate money from another country, but it's another thing to spend it. And I was talking to a lawyer about this who was troubled as I was, about the president, the executive branch, taking the role of Congress to appropriate money. And I said, but doesn't the CIA do this every day? And he said, yes, but you, Congress, wrote a law that lets the CIA do this. You've created no law to let the president have this alternate treasury that he can spend money out of on whatever he wants.
And so what is Greenland really about?
So this, like what Venezuela was about, how that morphed, Greenland is morphing as well. Sometimes it's about the president didn't get the Nobel Peace Prize. Like, he literally said that in his letter, and that was part of the reason. I hear people say, oh, there's resources there that can be mined. The most recent thing I hear is that it's necessary for the defense of our country, that if we're going to have our own Golden Dome, we need to have this piece of land to set things up on. My issue with that is whatever it costs to acquire Greenland, you can create an oil rig or a floating platform anywhere, offshore, somewhere in the ocean. I mean, Elon Musk is landing rockets backwards on floating platforms. We can have a missile defense that's mobile, and it's probably much more defensible that way. Like, can you imagine if the United States missile defense was like in one hole that we drilled in Greenland and everybody was watching because they knew that's why we were doing it? All you got to do is take that place out, and then you could take out our missile defense. You'd be much better to have platforms that move around. So I don't think it's, and by the way, we do have some of that equipment. I'm not sharing secrets to tell you that we have floating platforms in the Pacific. You can see them with the big white dome. I've visited on congressional trips, but you can see these from satellites, and people know what they are. I'm not giving anything away. So I don't think it's about the missile defense. I think it's about might makes right. I think it's about the president wants to have something to his name where he expanded, the United States while he was in office.
Okay, so that makes as much sense as anything, because we already have a agreement with Greenland. We can use We can do military exercises there. We can have our military bases. We can have things there. So we already have it. So you're right. Well, see me on tour.
So, what do you got to say? I mean, so I got to say first of all, um, when it comes down to the point of Trump, I guess if you want to say, um, when it comes down to the point of him just taking Venezuela because they dropped the U.S. dollar and they are trading with people we don't want them trading with. When it comes down to how I feel about that, it's like, yeah, duh, like, yeah, hell yeah, of course,
Yeah.
like, of course, like, of course, we're not going to let that happen. And I think one congressman came out and flat out said it. Of course, we're not letting that happen. It's not going to happen. You're not gonna be in our backyard, just fraternizing with our enemies, with people who would rather see this side of the globe destabilized. We're not gonna do that. We're not gonna give you or just sit back and allow it to happen while we're in office at least. And now the Democrats will sit back most likely and let some shit like that happen until it gets to the point where it's unavoidable, I guess, or
Mhm.
unignorable. But we're not gonna just sit back and watch that happen. But when it comes to the point about Greenland, I guess I can kind of see what they're saying there. Um, it is kind of redundant, but at the same time, I do know the type of man Trump is. It could very well just be because he wants to expand and be the guy who, expanded the U.S. further and, got us more land and more of this and more of that. But, you know, yeah, I think expansion is the last thing that the U.S. needs, if that is the case. But I don't know. What do you think about it?
Well, I was all for the expansion until the U.S. dollar like has been like recently devalued and dropped because, like you said, many people, many nations are moving away from it. So the devaluing of our currency is getting really scarce. That's why gold has gone out the roof. I think I saw a figure that gold was like 5,500 for a troy ounce, which is crazy. I could be wrong though. I could be wrong. Um, but that's why you see all of my gold ETFs going stupid, like stupid crazy. Not even funny, but I digress. But no, like this whole thing was exactly what he was saying. It was for Greenland. It was about strategic military presence, and I think that was like when Trump does tell the truth. I think that was the truth because when you look at where Russia's positioned, where and the fact that China was going to go in there anyway and offer them the Chinese money trap, the Belt and Road Initiative, they was already going to offer them that and trap them and take all their precious metals because that's what Greenland has is these precious metals, right? And so they give us the treaty. So I'm against the expansion right now because I can see it part of the recipe for societal decay. Because as you acquire more land, you have to protect it. Not to
Yeah,
mention,
you're
right now the
restricting
United
yourself.
States, yeah, like we're either gonna have to. That's why I'm thinking, bro. Like this is just my thing. Hear me out. I'm thinking we're about to let Taiwan go, bro. I
Most
think I
likely.
think I think Taiwan is about to be annexed by China, and and I could be wrong because somebody's gonna be like, well, Shiesty nurse, what about the trade route? Because that's what's mostly important over there. Because now that we want to protect the trade route, right? Because if China gets control of Taiwan, China could start now, like what you call it, blockading the trade and make like basically control. That's a huge trade route. Control the distribution of goods and services. That's the more detrimental thing over there. However,
Yeah.
as far as the if we were using them for chips and the elements, nah, we don't need you for that no more. So we're gonna give you all the guns and we're gonna give you. I don't think we're gonna go onto a full on scale head to head war with them. I think we're gonna just show face and give them all the necessary firepower, like on some Ukraine shit, and help them and assist them with fighting the war. But it's not gonna be like we're going straight to war with China because of
Yeah, but I
Taiwan,
think
bro. And
also doing that with China is going to be a different monster altogether too, because
yeah, that's a different beast.
I don't think China is as uh, far behind technology wise
No,
as
I would say they're
Russia
catching up, or
is.
they're
You know
just
what I'm
as
saying?
yeah, or they just passed us because they have some revolutionary shit. Remember, China invests in their infrastructure. They invest in the infrastructure of their country. They invest in expansion. They're an expansionist country. They love to
Hmm.
expand, but they do it economically, right? So that's they do economic imperialism with this Belt and Road Initiative. So we again, people who don't understand geopolitics, they don't understand that if our adversaries do something, we have to do something. We
You
can't
have
just
to.
sit
You have to
by
do something
idle,
about it.
right? We can't sit idle by and watch China take Venezuela's oil, which they've already tried to do that. They can't. We can't sit back idle and watch China take over all. And if the best, if people don't realize, China is the end game in terms of geopolitics. We cannot. The entire world cannot be solely reliant as China as the pantry of the world for all their stuff. You can't allow them to manipulate their currency without checking them. You can't allow them to just buy up all these little countries. Ask Sri Lanka, how ask the people of Sri Lanka how they feel about China's involvement in the Belt and Road Initiative, bro. Their country don't even look like Sri Lanka no more. Some people report, right? So we can't allow this China to expand our superpowers to expand and get stronger while we get weaker. Because guess what's going to happen? The comfortabilities that we afford as Americans, where I could sit here and you can sit here and there's not bombs dropping from the sky and people trying to invade us or conquer us, is because we have a strong military. Now, when it comes to the military, when you talk about it being anti-expansion, yeah, the more we acquire, the more we have to protect, and we're stretching ourselves thin because we can't fight a war on multiple fronts. You can't protect, you can't acquire all this land, and you can't protect it. That's why when I give you the update of Venezuela, at Venezuela, we are not going to take over Venezuela. But what the guy is saying was true. We don't want to take over Venezuela. We want to get the contract. We want to enforce the contract that Maduro probably wasn't honoring, right?
Uh,
That wasn't probably honoring, or the guy before him, or the guy before him wasn't honoring, right? So we first of all want to get them to honor the contract, and then what they're doing right now is basically letting the lady, the interim president, run the country until they have a free election, and then we out. There's no big military occupation, super big military occupation in Venezuela. We have no intention of doing that. I think we just want to make sure we replace the head
we
of
have
this person. You can
control
have
over
your
this
country
side of the
back,
hemisphere.
huh?
Yeah, we got this control over this side of the globe. Like homie said,
Right.
we can't have certain things going on in our backyard.
Right, right.
You
But
know what
I
I'm
think
saying?
because if China controls the fuel, do you know how important fuel is? Fuel until we find an alternative substance, a real like renewable other option. That's well, we do. We have when we know about it. It's called nuclear, and we are we have advances in nuclear science and nuclear capabilities in the military,
Yeah.
just not for public. But in terms of like
But we
fuel, if you
trying to
could
move
control
past that.
fuel. Right, but if you could control, and right now, if you could control fuel, you can win wars. You can put power out, outage. You can't cook food without gas or fuel. You know how much shit you can do if you could
And
control fuel.
that's how China is setting up most of the world by making sure they're building up most of Africa's infrastructure and things like that. You're building an environment where people could never turn against you. You can turn the lights off at any moment. It's like beefing with your landlord. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? It's like going to war with your landlord at any
it's the
at
same
any
thing,
point in
and that's
time. The
right.
lights can be off. The locks can be changed. There's
That's why
nothing
we
that you
can't
can
let
really
China
do
just
about it.
grow and metastasize and control all distribution and all the supply side chains. If China takes over this Eastern Pacific or the Pacific, wherever that area is, that's end game for not just America, but for a lot of countries. Then we're all gonna be
Yeah.
bowing down to Xi Jinping. The next thing will be invaded. So these are the stuff
And
that
they
these
already
stupid
are
ass, retarded ass
unreasonable.
liberals don't get. Ask me if you ever hear a liberal talking about this factual about this any liberal content, Mark Lamar Hill, all these liberal provocateurs that be telling you shit. Ask me if they ever have real like analytical deep geopolitical conversations like this, or they always just telling you hate America and racism and hate Trump. I'm not, bro.
Uh,
It's yo, it's up for the liberals for life, bro. I'm putting them on the list of
I
Kendrick,
think a
bro.
deeper conversation needs to be had. I think instead of having black people focus so much on, and not to say that we don't need to focus on black issues or things like that, but everything that the black vote is focused on doesn't need to be solely the black issues.
Bro, how
We
about we
need to know
actually talk
more
about
about stuff like this and know our position in the world
right,
to make
right.
more advised moves and make more advised plays as a
Here's
voting
the
body.
thing, bro. How about we talk about the real black issues that's actually holding back black people? But you can't do that because you're going to be seen as racist by a certain political party, right? We can't. No, we can't talk about the black death toll. That's a racist talking point. But no, it's that. I love how they say facts and label facts as a racist, conservative talking point. No, it's not a talking point. It's just a fact. It's not just a talking point. It's a fact. Like that we have to talk about
Get
the
into
real
it.
stuff, the lack of financial literacy. We don't see, bro, I could go on and on and on. These liberal Democrats really think that we don't have that black people don't have IDs, and we don't have IDs, we don't have internet. Some of the shit that these liberals say, like, do y'all even know black people? Like Jasmine Crockett is not ghetto as she was raised around white people, bro.
Yeah.
Even when
And
she
on
speaks
top of
slang,
that,
it don't sound right, bro.
but that's what I'm saying. It's
For
very much
fucking performance.
performative. It's very much performative. It's very much putting forth the wrong image of a black woman, because
Jasmine Crockett, right?
it's not the type of black woman that I feel, and I don't know, maybe some of the black women who listen in, maybe you guys could contribute to the conversation, but I don't feel like that's a representation most black women would want to see themselves in that kind of space. I don't think she's that hyper aggressive, but then again, you look online, it might have you thinking that that's exactly what females want to see, or these young black women want to see as a representation for themselves, and maybe some of them see themselves in her a lot, but
Well, I
I
think
don't
that
think
I
she's
think
the
the
proper
obsession is,
representation
bro.
for the black women in Congress.
Bro, I think the obsession is though is like people want to like they want people to like her to be idolized for just making it to that point. And I think we need to stop idolizing people who are just making it to the point and start looking at beyond now. Because once you clear a hurdle, you clear it. You don't got to look back. You made it to the table. Now let's see. Let's judge people and in terms of if we idolize them or not on the basis of what you do when you get there. And when people like Stephen A. Smith are and me and other people like are black are critiquing her, we are critiquing you. Like, we're happy that you're a black woman in Congress. Great job. That's very good. But you weren't the one that made that feat. Condoleezza Rice and other people came before you so that you can have that position. So let's judge you now on your actions while you're sitting at the table. What are
Yeah,
your mannerisms at this table? What are you talking about at this table? What are your
yeah.
intentions at this table?
But what
And
are
what
you
are you
getting
actually
done?
doing? What is the substance? What are you getting done? And when you look at her
You
track
know what
record,
I'm
she's
saying?
done very little to nothing,
Yeah,
but
and that's the
also
thing.
joined the resistance
The
train.
only time I see her in the news
Is
and it's a
resistance.
shame for, and it's not just a shot on her. It's the same for a lot of people. It's the same for people like Ocasio Cortez, who needed to do more things other than just present a Green New Deal and stuff like that. When it comes down to it, the only time we see you people is when you are playing up this performance or trying to block actual progress. That being, the things that the people who a majority of people voted for Trump, put him in office. These are the things that they voted for. These are the things that a majority of the people, and this is why our system is so fucked, because you would think, even if your particular constituents might be against it, which if that's the case, and it won't, if a particular item won't benefit any of your constituents, that's one thing, which I find very hard to believe. But even if it's something that's majority country, but your constituents might fall in the minority, I feel like you even still have a duty to say, okay, we have lost. Our ideas have lost. Our person who we're putting them forth, they're representing our ideas, they're representing our party. We've lost. So it's time for us to lock in and be a team and get done the things that we need to get done. But we don't do that. We don't do that.
Right. Right,
We don't
because we're
even give
so
ourselves
divided.
a chance to say, okay, well, this worked, this didn't, see it play out. We just have to sit
No.
here and listen to a whole bunch of motherfuckers lie to us
Right.
about
Right.
common sense shit. Common sense shit that
Right.
could be done. Common sense, I was very much, like I said, I was very much on the left until I seen, and coincidentally enough, Jimmy Dore is the person who started the Force the Vote movement way back a couple of years ago, I believe around 2020 or before, maybe 2019, 2018. The Force the Vote, whenever that the time came up when Nancy Pelosi was up for re-election for Speaker of the House. And it was then what the point of the reason we voted AOC, Mike Bowman, Mike Brown. I think it was Mike Bowman. I don't even think he's still in Congress anymore. But it was a couple of people. Ilhan Omar is included in that. Um, the time came for you guys to stand on business and say we're going to force the vote. We're going to get this Medicare for all vote, and that time never came. It was excuses, it was this, and it was that, and it was a whole bunch of reasons why they couldn't get the job done. And that's really when I started losing faith, and rightfully so. Jimmy Dore lost faith, started going scorched earth on AOC, and this is why I fuck with Jimmy Dore, because Jimmy Dore don't save face for nobody. You know
That's
what
the
I'm
black
saying?
dude. The brolic black dude. That's a veteran that's running in her district in Texas.
Who?
Because there's another black dude. I can't remember his name. He either won. No, he won or he's going after her seat in Texas. And he's like, man, he was like, Jasmine Crockett can't debate me. And honestly, I don't think she or
Oh no,
AOC
not
can win a
Jimmy Dore. I
debate.
don't think Jimmy Dore is running for any.
Okay, so my fault. I don't be knowing names, but I be remembering faces. I ain't gonna lie. All these politicians, there's a lot of them. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah, they're up for midterms this year, right?
yeah, Jasmine Crockett got redistrict out, so she's just fired. Her time is coming to an end like soon. So it's about to be time of death, and her career is over because she got
Is
redistrict
his
out.
name's James
Yeah, I
Talarico?
think maybe he's just like, yo,
Sorry
he's
for
calling her out.
Texas
He's like,
people.
she doesn't want to debate me because she would get cooked. She would get cooked. Jasmine
What
Crockett and
is Jasmine
AOC are
Crockett
just.
doing
Right
for
now,
her?
two Democrats vying to
Oh, I
become
could tell you. I looked into it.
are making their
She's done nothing for her district.
first day of early voting. And the final pictures are pretty clear. Jasmine Crockett says, we need a warrior, while James Tallarico argues, we need a nominee who knows how to win tough races. Let's bring in Julian Castro, who served as HUD secretary and was a 2020 Democratic presidential candidate. He is now an MS Now political analyst. Mr. Secretary, thanks for being here with us. You know Texas politics just as well as anyone. What is your sense of this race?
Oh, Laura, this is it's fair to say, I think that this is the most competitive, most animated and spirited Democratic primary that we've seen for a statewide office in at least 25 years. Because you have two great candidates, both of them able to articulate a vision for the future, both of them able to raise money, both of them very energetic and really rising stars in their own right. So,
No, it's not
Texans,
that guy.
Democrats in Texas for the first time in quite a while
Yeah, that's not him. But it's all good.
at
No,
this
people
level
watching.
have a choice to make about which candidate do they think is better able to win in November and would better represent the people of Texas if they win.
Well, who do you think is the candidate that can win this race? Is it Jasmine Crockett, who says that Democrats just need to be fighting as hard as possible? Or is it James Tellerico, who says that Democrats need to be a little bit strategic and vote for someone that they think can win in the general election? Who do you think it is?
Yeah, I mean, these are dueling theories, right? Jasmine Crockett's that you need to amp up the base, get people off the sidelines that don't normally vote in a midterm election. James Tellerico, that look, Texas is still basically has voted as a red state, and you need to be able to convince enough independents and Republicans to go your way at a time when, you know, that might have more sway. People might be listening because they're dissatisfied with Trump and the Republicans. I think the truth is that you need both of those things. You need somebody that can convince people with a compelling vision that speaks to their needs to get off the sidelines, and you also need to be able to convince people that are open to listening to a Democrat this time that you're the kind of Democrat that they can vote for. And, you know, both of them are making their pitches. It's hard because they both are fantastic candidates. And I think the sentiment that I hear from a lot of Democrats these days is, wow, I wish that these two candidates were not going up against each other, because it would have been great if they had both been part of a slate running in different races. But I think it's a precursor of what we're going to see as the Democratic nomination in statewide races becomes more meaningful in the years to come when Democrats can win in Texas.
I noticed you didn't answer the question when I asked which person would you place your bet on?
I'll say who I think has the edge right now. The polling has been mixed. You have seen some polls for Crockett and some for Tellerico. I think that right now Tellerico has the momentum in Texas. And if I had to guess who's going to win, I would say probably that he's going to win this race. But I wouldn't be surprised if it goes the other way because the polls have been all over the place. I just saw a poll today that had Jasmine Crockett ahead. There was a poll last week that had her ahead. There have been several that also have him ahead. But if I had to say, being here in Texas, who I think the momentum is with right now, I'd say it's probably with Tellerico.
And I know that Tellerico would really like to face Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton, who also is a candidate in the Republican primary for this Senate seat. He has launched what he calls an illegal voting tip line to stop unlawful voting activity ahead of the primary. What are you hearing about this? Are Texans nervous that Paxton could use that to try to suppress the vote?
Well, I mean, I think Texans have seen this kind of thing before. Republicans have tried to do what they can to chill voting, especially in
Yo, Diesel, are you there?
Yeah, sorry. I want to stop for a second because I wanted to talk a little bit about. I was muted. My bad. I want to stop for a second because I wanted to talk about Jasmine Crockett. Pull up some of her accomplishments because she's one of the
I already been through that.
Biggest talking pieces for the Democratic Party, and
Let me guess.
I think she's a big representative of the people who speak the most, and they're the most. You know, they go the most viral for. You know, going back and forth and being the loudest person in the room. And this isn't just to pick on her once again. It's just to say a lot of these people that these liberals follow and tout and, you know, and they raise up to the forefronts. I'm really curious because
Bruh.
I want to know what she's actually accomplished. Okay.
Bro, can I just, before you go, can I tell you what I found? Because what you're probably going to find is that she co-sponsored a lot of bills, which is very little to nothing. You know what a co-sponsor is? Like, what you write about, bro? Put my name on that. Boom.
Yeah, you signed it.
So then you got, she co-sponsored a bunch of bills. She also secured $10 million for some public project. That is it. Then it's just resist Trump, resist Trump, resist Trump. Nothing significant, nothing of substance. People in her district are still living 70% of the 77. Well, no,
So
the
we'll get to
majority
the
of
rest of
black
that. We'll
people.
get to the rest of
Yeah.
that after. Because I wanna go through her full background real quick. I want to go through her full background,
Oh,
and
please do.
you might be even giving her a little bit too much credit on a couple of things. But
Damn,
yeah,
that's crazy.
yeah, because I know you said a bunch of bills, but I
There's
only
a
see
couple.
about three.
There's like
But we'll get into it.
there's a couple. There's a couple. There's a
So
couple.
she's often referred to as Representative Jasmine Crockett. She's currently a U.S. representative for Texas 30th Congressional District, covering parts of Dallas and Tarrant counties. So Dallas must be really winning her that vote. I would imagine. So I was like, it has to be a city, like a really. She has to be like running in like a Democratic city or some shit like that. Not a senator. She announced her candidacy for the U.S. Senate in Texas for 2026 election, but as of now, she serves in the House. She's a Democrat with a background as a public defender, civil rights attorney, and former Texas state representative. Her work focused on criminal justice reform, voting rights, economy, uh, housing, healthcare access, environmental issues, and supporting working families, veterans, and undeserved communities in her district and beyond, so she says. Um, so her key accomplishments from 2021 to 2023, as a state representative, she was the sole black freshman and youngest black lawmaker during a very conservative session. Despite the challenges, she filed more bills than any other freshman. She built coalitions to pass landmark criminal justice reforms.
Yeah, she worked hard.
She co-authored three bills that became law, including ones that
Yeah.
wiped certain in-court fees for recently incarcerated
Mm,
people, criminalized financial abuse of the elderly, and required state agencies to publish online summaries of rule changes. Helped led the 2021 quorum break, a Democratic walkout to draw national attention to restrictive voting laws, performative, founded
performative, exactly. Again, yeah.
founded the Texas Progressive Caucus and the
A lot
Texas
of
Caucus
resistance,
on
right?
Climate, Energy, and the Environment. I think recent years have shown that the whole environment scare has been a little bit much. Um, Advocated for economic opportunity, business, industry issues, and criminal justice reforms. Okay, I feel like that's the whole criminal justice reform, prison reform. I feel like that's like the black representative starter package. Like
Yeah, the DEI. Just say it. DEI, bro.
that's
Just
like
say
the
it,
black
bro.
representative
Come
style.
on,
Yeah,
bro.
I'm doing
Don't hold
criminal
back.
justice reform, but I'm gonna finish. I'm gonna let her breathe. Um, in Congress, she's served on the House Judiciary Committee and Oversight and Government Reform Committee. Currently, vice ranking member on Oversight and ranking member on the Judiciary Committee, a subcommittee. She's been vocal on national issues, but has delivered tangible results for her district. She secured significant federal investments and funding for the district, described in interviews as a historic amount in her first terms, including millions for her local projects like infrastructure, education, and community needs. She helped secure 1.9 million from the EPA for emission-free school buses in Cedar Hill Independent. Um, she introduced or co-sponsored bills addressing housing shortages, reducing agricultural carbon, supporting farmers and ranchers, veteran issues. She opposed plans to turn a local warehouse in Hutchins in her district into a large ICE detention facility. helping to block or delay it. So she did stop that. She maintained a strong pro-labor record of 100% lifetime voting alignment with labor groups and advocated for workers' rights, reproductive rights, and against extreme abortion restrictions. Okay. Served as high profile voice in progressive causes, including protective voting rights, economic equity, public education, and addressing climate changes in like Texas droughts and extreme weather. Um, so yeah, her time in the House has been mostly, it seems, performative. It did say she helped secure a 1.9 million dollars for from the EPA, and then I'm guessing the 10 million that you were talking about was the significant investment, the significant and federal investment in funding for the district.
Yeah.
She described as a historic amount, but it doesn't necessarily give a number for that.
Right.
So all in all, I mean, she has somewhat of a resume.
Yeah, she
Um,
has a resume, but it's mostly from everything you tell me. It is more resistance, very little substance, and little like I mean, it's like okay, I'm gonna do with like the abortion thing, right? It's like okay, that was more resistance than anything. Then you have like she has a good resume. I'm not saying that she doesn't, but in terms of what she's really known for is the more the anti right wing, anti conservative, anti Trump actions that she has. She secured some money. She did some co-sponsored a couple of bills. She's done like, but nothing of significant. What significant win? And so I would use that. I would use that prompt. What significant win of substance did she have, or that she has won or acquired for her district? And you will find that instead of spending, and then it's very little. And instead of spending all this time with resisting Trump and resistance, you can actually focus on building up your district so that you would not be, I don't know, gerrymandered out instead of calling it racist.
hmm. Yeah, I'm looking at this Talarico's resume too in comparison. Um, so their primary is in March, and he's also going for the Democratic seat. So I don't think we're going to get much differences um, in what they're basically trying to push. You probably just get
I
somebody
wonder.
who's
I just wonder who the. I can't remember. I gotta look and see who's the Republican like person that's running for that seat as well. Unless it's just a two in house race between the both of them. You know what I mean? Because I
yeah, I
think there's
think they
somebody
get their
challenging her.
Democratic representative, and then that person goes against the Republican in November.
That's what I believe. But yo, shout out to the 12 people that showed up to the live, bro. Like they coming at the end because I do gotta leave. I got the little ones.
Yeah, man,
But
I appreciate you
of
coming
course,
in. And real quick, let's just wrap this up because I'm not going to go on too much longer. But yeah, I appreciate everybody for stopping in. Real quick, man, before you go, let me get your thoughts on about my boy Trump and Nikki, teaming up. You feel me? How do you feel about
I
that, real
actually
quick, before you get out of here?
I actually had an interesting take on this. Um, yeah, I see, buddy. Um, I had actually an interesting take. So me, I think that um, one with being in the bars, I think first of all, I like that Nikki is what she's doing, especially if it's genuine, which I believe it is. Personally, if you're asking me, I think she's coming of age, just like how I came of age and realizing that, like, I'm West Indian, she's Caribbean. We naturally grew up in conservative households.
Mhm.
Like West Indian and Caribbean culture is very masculine, very feminine when it comes to women, and also very conservative, very strict conservative. I was a 7 Day Adventist forcibly by my mother and my father raising me, and but somehow they're liberal. I don't know, whatever. Anyway, I think she's coming of age, realize she has she's getting older. She doesn't really want to be shaking and popping ass. She doesn't really want to be, doing any of this debauchery stuff. And I think she's really passionate about the Christians in Nigeria, people in Nigeria. I think she's seen the light. I think she's growing up. She's got kids. She doesn't want to. She's acting like her age. She's not like a big 40-year-old, 20, 30, pushing 40, pushing 50, acting like shaking ass and having, throwing ass on a robot or whatever, or doing all kinds of thotterina stuff, like certain people are.
You
She's
think she
classy.
left?
And I
You
think
think
she
she
went
left that
to,
life behind?
yeah, I think she went to the Democrats with her problem. They shoved her off and she said, well, let me go to the people that are going to hear me. And she went. Now, there are some people that think she's an Amber Rose or like another, just a grifter or a traitor. But I think when I defended her in the space yesterday, I was like, time will tell. We don't know yet. We can't just label her because she's a celebrity and she's cozying up to Trump. You just can't label her with that stench when you don't even know what her real intentions are yet. Time will tell. We'll see if she'll turn on, because a lot of people have backstabbed Trump and turned on Trump. Even Kim Kardashian, they educated me yesterday. Kim Kardashian apparently turned on Trump after all the stuff that she got him to do for her, making her look good, getting those black women out of jail and all that stuff that she was doing. They turned on Trump. So it's crazy. A lot of people have, but that's not really saying much, because everybody basically, Trump got more backstabbers than Julius Caesar, bro. Like Mike Pence, his vice president, turned against him, bro. So
Yeah,
William Barr,
everybody
his
really did.
appointed, yeah, William Barr. Like, so that's nothing new. He's cool. He's at this point, he knows the game. He knows these celebrities. He knows these people. He was a celebrity himself, so he knows these people. He knows what they really want. And what they wanted was her green card, and she finessed it. And
Yeah.
and at
I
the end of
think
the day,
I
I'm
don't
not
know.
mad at it. Like, I don't care if she really doesn't care about Christians in Nigeria. People need to stop marrying their like, these people are people too. They're human too. You like them as an artist, like their music, and that's it. You don't gotta like them as people.
I think this was more of a play, maybe for her green card too, but more so of a play against Rock Nation. And that's just my thoughts of it. I feel like if she's gonna go against Rock Nation, Jay Z, this, that, the third, and the things and the power that they could have, and the things that they can do, I think it's gonna benefit her for the next couple of years to have a person like Trump in her back pocket. Whether she might need a pardon, or she might need a little favor, or yeah. I think when you look at Rock Nation versus Nicki, that's one thing. But then you look at Rock Nation versus Trump and Nicki. Yeah, we in a whole different ball game.
And I think that's true. I think the reason why she left the left, and this is not the she wouldn't be the first celebrity that's defected from the left. Like RFK, people forget RFK was a Democrat and he defected from the left and became a liberal. I'm sorry, excuse me, that came conservative and is sitting as the head of the HHS right now. So this is not new, people defecting from the left. Like, she defected from the left probably because she realized, well, if Beyonce is doing speeches like Kamala Harris is, like, you know, and Kamala Harris's rallies, then and he's called Trump a bug, and I have a lot of beef with Rock Nation. I think they're hurting children. And all. I said, well, I can't go to that side because Act Blue, and I mean, that's too big, and they'll crush me. So let me go to the side that actually, like, at least wants
Yeah,
people to have babies.
yeah, and with the
Want people
way
to have
she's
babies.
talking, man, there ain't too many liberals who's gonna
Bro, do you
jump on the
know,
back
bro,
on
do you
her
know
back.
how many people have left the liberals because of the how weird the party has become and how obsessed with resistance it's become. So it's like, people, not only are you resisting every single thing that comes out of Trump's pen, you are now not telling me what you're going to do. Like, what have you done for me lately, liberals, other than resist? You haven't done anything. You don't have a direction. You don't even know who you're gonna pick for 2028. And even the people that you have, you're kind of circling. You don't have confidence. Like, what are you selling the average American person? You're not selling me anything, but you're playing on my emotions every single day. Every single day, you are playing on my emotions. You're using Act Blue to fund these protests. You're
Yeah,
using Act Blue to fund these content creators. You know what the worst app? I don't care what nobody says. X is not the worst app. The Meta platforms are by far the worst, bro.
No, man, so
The
much
Meta
garbage on
platform,
this
bro, at least
platform,
on this
too.
app, if you pay the subscription, you can debunk a poster too. You can't debunk shit on the Meta platforms. Everything you can, there is no button you can press. You have to rely on Google, which Google in itself is also biased as well. So that's what I'm trying to tell our one common friend. He keeps sending me stuff from Instagram, bro. And I keep debunking him. Like, it's like, bro, are you retarded, bro? Like, you need to step out of your echo chamber and start looking up oppositional resources and stuff. And then once you get in your training wheels, then you can come and debate, bro. Because I'm really like that. I've been in so many MAGA spaces, bro. They were like, are you sure you're not a politician? That's how good I am at what I'm saying, bro. Everything I say, I back it up with facts, and I give them logical, pragmatic arguments. You know what I'm saying? My daughter's like that too. You see her? She's gonna be a fierce debater like her dad.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
I
saying?
ain't gonna hold you for too much longer, man.
Yeah.
Look, I appreciate you for stopping through to the show. We've been here for 2.5 hours. This is just a little state of the union, us talking about and going through some of the things that's been going on in the country and with Trump. So I appreciate everybody who stopped through on Twitch, on YouTube, Rumble,
Facts.
on X. We appreciate everybody for stopping through. Just wanted to have a little state of the union. So go ahead and follow my boy Shiesty Nurse on all platforms as well.
Yeah, follow me on YouTube at Shiesty Nurse, man. Join the community at Breaking Barriers. I do spaces. Follow me on X. Hit the notification button so you know when I go live for spaces. And on TikTok, man, at Shiesty Nurse.
Yeah, that's a fact, man. Appreciate you for stopping through. To all my stoners, hippies, and hip hop enthusiasts, I appreciate you guys. My name is Dope Boy Diesel. I'm your host here in the Doja Room, and I thank you guys for coming here, spending a little time with us. Next time we pop in, I'll be talking a little bit more hip hop with you guys. Now that we got some of the movies and the TV shows and the politics out of the way, we'll get back to some hip hop. We got some topics to talk on that.
Man, I'm tight we leaving because there's some shit that just came out of Baby Keem's album. They said it's gonna be 36 minutes long, and it was like he dropped a snippet too, and I'm like 36 minutes. That's confirmed, by the way. Yeah, 36 minutes. Like they said, the entire album is 36 minutes between 10 and 14 tracks.
Yeah,
and that's crazy. That's a short album. Wait, each track is like 1 minute or something, or a minute 30.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah. I'll definitely probably be looking forward to some more Baby Keem.
That's dropping tonight.
We'll get to that we'll probably get to that the next time I hop on. Maybe I might do a little stream. We'll just do a Rumble stream and an X stream so that we can listen to the album and just get a good first listen to it. Hopefully it'll be good.
I'm excited for Baby Keem, man. He makes good music.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it'll be pretty dope. But we'll see. Appreciate you guys for stopping through. I'm your boy Dope Boy Diesel. And we'll be back to talk more hip hop with you guys next time. All right. And I'm out.
Yeah. Hey, this that special sauce. Spill that drip, I wipe it off. $1 million worth of game. Can't feel that I work too hard. Poetry on these.